Chapter 598. News from Obito, Woodleaf lost and wants to cede land as compensation to stop the war. In the snow country, Naruto looked at the sleeping Jiraiya. The battle between ninjas is really fast. It's only been 2 hours since he kidnapped Jiraiya. What about Kumogakure? Obito replied, Kumogakure suffered heavy losses this time. Metkei used the 7th gate of the Hashiman Tonku. So, Kumogakure also wants to negotiate. Negotiate? If they were to make peace this time, who knew how many years the war would last? After all, Jiraiya is not dead yet, and Naruto doesn't want to kill Jiraiya. When Jiraiya comes back to Woodleaf, that's not what Naruto wants to see. Refuse to negotiate, let the other 2 members of the Akatsuki join the battle. Obito was hesitant because his memory was rewritten by Naruto. At this time, Obito still has some feelings for Woodleaf, and he doesn't want to see Woodleaf destroyed. The other 2 who haven't joined the battle yet are Sand Scorpion and Deidara. If these 2 join, they will be the last straw that breaks the camel's back. Obito was hesitant. Sand and Mist have received the news from Woodleaf and are rushing here, Naruto replied. Tell Raikage that Sand and Mist will be handed over to the Rain Country, and the Rain Country will guarantee that they won't reach Woodleaf. After hanging up the call with Obito, it didn't take long for the Wind Country and Water Country's capital to be invaded at the same time. When the capital was attacked, the daimyo naturally thought of summoning his own armed forces. Soon, the Sand Kazekage and the Mist Mizukage who were rushing to Woodleaf to rescue received the order. The battle continued. That night, Woodleaf didn't wait for the rescue of Sand and Mist, and Woodleaf fell. The next day, the Fire Country's daimyo died. Akatsuki organization under the name of Rain Country occupied half of Fire Country's territory, and the other half was renamed as Lightning Country. Woodleaf has fallen, and Naruto has no reason to imprison Jiraiya. Jiraiya woke up on the afternoon of the 2nd day after the fall of Woodleaf. Where is this? Jiraiya looked at Naruto's room. Naruto's room was very simple. It was square and covered in metal. The only thing that stood out was a large mushroom placed in a flower pot. It was the butterfly Shengu that was caught by Naruto. Naruto sat on a chair and greeted, "Good afternoon, Jiraiya-sensei. You slept for a long time." Jiraiya turned to look at Naruto. At this time, Jiraiya still didn't understand what he had experienced. "Naruto?" Jiraiya called tentatively. Naruto nodded. Jiraiya felt a headache and raised his hand to knock on his head. His experience in virtual reality started to fade, and it became more and more vague. It was like waking up from a dream. This reaction was mainly caused by Naruto using a large amount of nerve paralysis potion on Jiraiya. If it was someone else, they might even forget who they were. They were once a fool. Naruto looked at Jiraiya. This was also the best time to use Koto Amatsukami. Should he use it? Naruto looked at the bank book in his hand. Jiraiya and Tsunade were doomed to a tragedy. If he used it, he could even use it to make Jiraiya forget Tsunade. That way, maybe Jiraiya could find a good girl. But after forgetting the past, is that person really the same person? Jiraiya-sensei, I have bad news and good news. Which one do you want to hear? Jiraiya was confused. He still didn't know how he knew that the person in front of him was Naruto. He also didn't expect that he was kidnapped by Naruto. 2 news? Then let's talk about the good news first. Naruto threw the bank book in his hand to Jiraiya. I found Tsunade, and she's willing to return your bank book. Jiraiya picked up the bank book and squinted for a long time. He muttered to himself, the money on the bank book is still there, it seems to be a dream. Naruto. Is this how the boundary between reality and dreams is defined? What's the bad news? You don't want to hear it? Jiraiya put away the bank book. He lay back down. Since it's a dream, why should I let the bad news disturb my mood? Naruto. What he said made sense. Naruto sat on the chair and looked at Jiraiya. It was similar to looking at a monkey in a zoo. Naruto was waiting for Jiraiya to wake up. However, Jiraiya's state was a bit like drinking. It seemed that he couldn't remember anything. Could it be that he was drugged too much, and Jiraiya became stupid? Naruto approached and checked Jiraiya's state with the palm technique. In the next moment, Jiraiya suddenly grabbed Naruto. But no matter how fast Jiraiya was, he couldn't be faster than Naruto's current nerve reaction speed. Taking a step back, he easily avoided Jiraiya's hand. Jiraiya turned over and stepped forward. Naruto suddenly thought of something fun. A seal condensed in his hand and pressed on Jiraiya's body. Then he pulled back before Jiraiya could grab him. Then the same seal appeared on Naruto's body. The two seals echoed each other. Jiraiya's body was sent flying by a huge force and pressed against the wall. What's this trick? Jiraiya noticed the seal that Naruto left on him. The seal was devouring his chakra. Naruto said, "Have you ever heard of the same sex repelling each other? If you don't know that you can get close to me again, you will find something very interesting." Jiraiya tried to get rid of the seal left by Naruto, but chakra would be devoured by the seal as soon as he got close. As for wiping it with his hand, it was impossible. Should he cut off his hand? There was no need to fight to the death with Naruto, and Jiraiya didn't want to cut off his hand. Jiraiya gathered chakra at his feet and stood up against the repulsive force. Then he walked towards Naruto. He found that the closer he got to Naruto, the stronger the repulsive force was. When Jiraiya was 2 meters away from Naruto, a big fat man was squeezed into a big pancake by the repulsive force. It was hilarious. Naruto laughed. "Get ready, I'm going to inject chakra into the seal." Naruto began to inject chakra into the seal. It was impossible for Jiraiya to go forward. Not only that, even standing in place was difficult. Naruto continued to inject. Boom. Jiraiya was pushed up and hung on the wall again. Jiraiya-sensei, this is a competition of the amount of chakra. Whoever has more chakra will have the initiative. By the way, Jiraiya-sensei, there's something fun. Naruto stopped inputting chakra into the seal. Hand seals. Multiple shadow clone jutsu. 6 Naruto appeared beside Naruto. Naruto added a repulsive seal to each clone. Then he removed the seal on himself. The 6 clones were stuck to the wall by the seals on Jiraiya's body. Then under Naruto's order, chakra's output increased. Naruto came to Jiraiya's side and pulled him up. Jiraiya grabbed Naruto with a backhand. He said with joy, "I got you." Naruto smiled, pulled Jiraiya up from the wall, and threw him back. "Go." Jiraiya was squeezed in the middle of the room by the repulsive force on all sides. And Naruto, who was originally in his hand, slipped, and Naruto broke free. Only a slippery thing was left in his hand. It felt like catching a catfish. This was also a new chakra property change that Naruto developed. Because Jiraiya could turn chakra into oil, Naruto felt that chakra should have infinite possibilities. So in those 3 years, Naruto did a lot of interesting experiments. Jiraiya was squeezed in the middle of the room by the repulsive force. It wasn't over yet. Naruto let the other 2 clones stick to the top and bottom of the room. So Jiraiya was squeezed in the room and suspended in the air. This technique isn't perfect yet. After perfecting it, I'm going to call this technique floating prison. Or it's called the floating top prison. Naruto smiled insidiously. Jiraiya-sensei, do you want to know why the second name has the word top? Jiraiya asked subconsciously, why? Naruto's mouth curled up. Chakra was connected to Jiraiya's body. Suddenly, he pulled. Spin. Little top. Jiraiya began to spin with a whoosh. Chapter 599. Woodleaf was defeated, and the Land of Fire was quickly annexed by the Land of Thunder and the Land of Rain. What's more funny is that when the Land of Wind and the Land of Water learned the news, they wanted to get a piece of the cake. Using their status as allies, they threatened Kumogakure to cede part of the original land of the Land of Fire. They said it was for the residents of the Land of Fire to continue to live a stable life. However, in fact, the 2 countries chose 2 places, and they were both close to the 2 countries. Their intention was self-evident. This matter was argued for a whole month. In the end, because Kumogakure suffered heavy losses in the battle with Woodleaf, they didn't want to fight anymore and agreed. However, there was only one area that was marked out. The land of wind and the land of water can jointly govern this area. The location is an area between the land of rain and the land of thunder. Well, it's not close to the land of water and the land of wind. The location can be said to be quite chicken ribs, and it's a pity to throw it away. But in the end, the two countries agreed. After all, it's a bargain. After the agreement was reached, the contract of the four countries was held in the land of iron, a neutral country. Because it involved national territory, the daimyo of each country also asked to be present. The land of thunder, the land of rain, the land of wind, and the land of water were at the negotiating table. The daimyo of the four countries and the representatives of their respective villages were on the list. What's more special is that the daimyo of the land of rain and the position of the ninja village leader are combined in one person, so only one person came to the table. This made the people of the other countries look at this side from time to time. In the past, the land of rain also had the position of the ninja village leader and the daimyo. But at that time, the land of rain was only a small country after all. Now that the land of rain occupies half of the land of fire, its significance is completely different. It can be said that it has entered the ranks of the major countries. Of course, this is only one reason. On the other hand, it's possible that the position of the daimyo and the ninja village leader are combined in one person. The expressions of the daimyo of several countries were very heavy. The Lord of the Land of Rain. Do you still wear a mask on this occasion? Kazekage Hand Bao asked with dissatisfaction. Mizukage Terumi Mei echoed, yes, on such an important occasion, we have to give some face to the major countries, right? The people of the Land of Rain had no intention of taking off their masks. He replied, so what if I take off my mask? Can you tell if the face under the mask is real or not? The Kazekage and Mizukage looked at each other. Such words were very rude in this kind of situation, but sometimes, the one with the bigger fist was right. If one were to be serious, it would always be the weak who had to pay the price. Just as the two of them were about to give up, the person from the rain country suddenly said, however, if you want to take a look, that's fine too. Then, the man took off his mask. Orochimaru's face was revealed. Really? No, it was just a person who had too much time on his hands. And this person, on the surface, was only wearing a mask. He was Obito. In reality, it was Naruto who had come out to get some fresh air out of boredom. Orochimaru. It's you. The atmosphere suddenly dropped to the freezing point. Handbao's father was killed by Orochimaru. The enmity of killing one's father was no small matter. As for Mei and Reikage, they were the ones who were cheated in the past. The Mist Village was cheated and lost to Byakugan. The Cloud Village was cheated even more, and it was the missing human pillar force. Most of this news was released by the Akatsuki and later confirmed. Don't get too excited. Didn't I say that what you see may not be true? With that, Naruto put on his mask again, took it off again, and changed his face again. This time, it was Mei's. Naruto imitated Mei's expression and bit his lower lip. How is it? Can you tell if it's real or fake? Mei was stunned and said something that made everyone spit out rice. You have no chest. Naruto's mouth twitched, thought for a while, and smiled. It's possible to add one more. How about it, Mei-ne-san, do you want to see? The atmosphere in the room suddenly became weird. The serious daimyo couldn't help but clear his throat. Naruto put on his mask again, took it off and replaced it with Orochimaru's face. Handbao felt that the face was really annoying and couldn't help but say, can you change it? Naruto also cooperated and changed to Handbao's face. Tempera's face was immediately filled with curses. What the hell is your gender? Naruto replied honestly, male. Handbao was a little crazy, then change into a man. So Naruto changed into Reikage's appearance. Reikage, who was watching the fun, was stunned. The daimyo of the Wind Country couldn't stand it anymore and urged, let's sign the contract first. After the contract was signed, all the representatives signed it. The meeting was then dismissed. When leaving, Reikage stopped Naruto. So the two Reikage stood together like brothers, which was particularly funny. Naruto even adjusted the height of his lower body and the proportion of his body. Reikage, you look quite similar. If it weren't for the clothes, I would have thought that I was looking in the mirror. This could be considered a friendly remark. Naruto replied, "Would you like to give me some clothes? Of course, you haven't worn them before." Reikage was speechless. If he agreed, wouldn't he agree to let the other party pretend to be him? He didn't know what the other party would do with this face. "You're joking, I think we should discuss the issue of the land again. Is that really okay? What's the difference between this and Wood Leaf's request for peace?" Naruto was no longer joking. "Are you worried that Wood Leaf will gather again? Gather strength and take revenge?" Reikage nodded. Naruto smiled. "No, the cloud and the mist won't give up that land." Reikage nodded. When he agreed to cede that land, he also listened to Naruto's words. Then Reikage asked, "Then, what happened to the people who were imprisoned by the Akatsuki?" After Wood Leaf was defeated, most of Wood Leaf's people were taken over by the Akatsuki. At that time, most of them were captured by the Akatsuki. Now that he thought about it, Reikage felt that something was wrong. What if these people joined the Rain Village? This kind of thing rarely happens to ninjas. But it's not impossible. In that case, the already ridiculously powerful Rain Country would become even more powerful. With the other party's ambition, it's likely that they won't be willing to stay in the Rain Village. Those people... Reikage-sama is worried. Naruto looked at Reikage and suddenly smiled. "Don't worry, I will torture them for a few more days. When I get the ninjutsu I'm interested in, I will kill them all and send their heads to you. How about it?" Reikage couldn't help but laugh. He said that it's not that he didn't trust you, but he didn't refuse. Everyone tacitly agreed to let this matter pass. Before leaving, Reikage stopped Naruto and said, "The sand and the mist dared to steal our land this time. This matter can't be ignored, right?" Naruto smiled and said, "After all, wine makes the face red, and money moves the heart." Chapter 600. The destruction of the Fire Country was a disaster for some people. For example, the royal family of the Fire Country. These people were wiped out by the ninjas of Kumogakure. There were also some people who were not affected much. Those civilians still cultivated their own land and sold their own vegetables and fruits every day. Then there were some local nobles. These people spent some money to show filial piety to the new lord and showed their attitude. No one will embarrass them. After all, with their help, it will be much easier to take over this huge country. Unless there is a record of marriage with the royal family in their genealogy, but they also killed a batch and kept a batch. Generally, they killed the eldest son, supported the son of a concubine, and confiscated most of the money. Of course, they were also all killed. In addition, some people ran to the land of the Wind Country and the Water Country to jointly rule. After revealing his identity, he received a very good reception and accommodations. Then, a few months later, because they missed their old country and didn't eat or drink, they were finally buried. Then, their families, or to be precise, women, were given a good marriage by the daimyo of the Wind Country or the Water Country. From then on, they lived a stable life. As for the original Wood Leaf ninja clans who chose to surrender, they were recruited by various countries. Commit seppuku? That's the spirit of a samurai. Or some completely brainwashed Umbu ninja will do so. Those young children or adults with many family members will make new choices because of their immature thinking or the responsibility of the continuation of the family. Some of them suddenly became tired and began to manage the village. For example, the Snow Country, a new resident in the suburbs. The man was called Kakashi Hatake, and the woman was called Kazama Hanazuki. Naruto didn't care too much about them and just left them here. Kakashi still remembered the moment when he opened his eyes and saw Naruto. Naruto clearly told him that the Wood Leaf and the Fire Country were gone. Then no matter what he asked, Naruto didn't answer. He gave him a knife and said, "If you feel that you have betrayed the trust of the villagers, or if you have other reasons to seek death, you can use this knife. This knife is very fast, and it won't hurt too much if you cut into the right place. Although he said that he would give him the right to choose, he didn't. However, Naruto arranged for Hana Fujita to be by his side. She was crying so hard that it was a mess. She stared at Kakashi with an expression that said, "If you dare to die, I will accompany you to the end." In the end, he would not be able to die. After that, Naruto left them there and ignored them. No matter what he asked, he still refused to answer. Finally, one day, Naruto came again. "Congratulations, Sensei Kakashi. You have a son, or maybe a daughter." Kakashi almost fell to his death because of Naruto's sudden words. He asked in disbelief, "What did you say?" Naruto continued, "Hua-Yu Sensei's ID card. A few days ago, the system testing module submitted Hua-Yu Sensei's system testing information. The information indicated that Hua-Yu Sensei is pregnant. I'm just here to inform you and ask you to be careful." Kakashi's face was still covered in shock. Naruto couldn't help but frown. "What? You didn't do it? The child isn't yours? Then I take back what I said. However, there is an annual cuckold award in the Snow Country. You should sign up. If you are chosen, you will receive a handsome consolation prize. You will also be able to join a Green Alliance gathering. They will help you get over your bad mood." The Cuckold Award and the Cuckold Alliance was a spontaneous organization that had sprung up in the Snow Country. The one who ran it was a wealthy businessman who had been cuckolded. After the businessman emerged from the shadows, he realized that being cuckolded was not shameful. What was shameful were those who did not behave themselves. Thus, the Green Alliance was born. Naruto felt that it was a positive force, so he made some plans to support it. Of course, it wasn't only men who were cuckolded. Gradually, the Green Alliance became a place where people could hold hands. If they did, they would receive the blessings of the entire alliance. If they didn't come from a well-off family, they would receive donations. Kakashi didn't know what kind of place the Green Alliance was. When he heard Naruto's words, he thought Naruto was mocking him. When he recovered, he cursed. "Fuck off. Of course I did it. The child can only be mine." Kakashi's outburst was heard by Hana Fujita. When she heard what they were talking about, she pointed to herself in shock. I'm pregnant? How come I didn't know?" After all, Hana Fujita was a medical ninja. Naruto's response was succinct. "Because it hasn't been long, and you haven't checked your body yet." Hana Fujita quickly used her divine mastery to examine her condition. Naruto wasn't lying. "It's true, but it's only once." Kakashi saw Hana Fujita's reaction and asked with a guilty conscience. "Really?" Hana Fujita nodded. Then, Kakashi pulled Hanatsuki Fuma into the house mysteriously. She avoided Naruto's gaze and asked, "It's mine, isn't it?" Hana Fujita slapped Kakashi across the face. Naruto, who was in the courtyard, burst out laughing. Houses in the Snow Country were protected by enchantments. Ordinary people couldn't see what was going on inside. But the enchantment was a sensory enchantment. With Naruto's 5-star authority, it was easy for him to see what was going on. In fact, this sort of thing was usually notified directly by the system. Naruto had purposely come this time to observe Kakashi's reaction to the news of the child. After all, it was a joyous occasion. It would at least lessen some of the gloom of Wood Leaf's destruction. Naruto saw Kakashi's smile after the slap and smiled. He turned and left. There was no need for him here. Kakashi laughed for a long time before remembering that there was someone outside. Looking at the door behind him, Kakashi's smile froze. Kakashi didn't know what kind of mood to meet that person. Hana Fujita also had mixed feelings about Naruto. Wood Leaf was destroyed. There wasn't a massacre. After one side admitted defeat and captured a few important people, the battle ended. But even so, there were still many casualties. Kakashi questioned Naruto. Naruto never said whether or not he participated in this battle. But both of them could guess a little. To be able to move Kakashi, who was supposed to be dead, away. If Naruto really played a role in this battle, it wouldn't be low. Let's go out and meet him. At least say hello. Hana Fujita finally spoke. Kakashi took a deep breath. He muttered, his identity card even knows about this. I'm going to question him. Kakashi suddenly rushed out in an aggressive manner. This was indeed a good reason. But Naruto was long gone. Only a gift box was left. This kid, he thinks that just by giving something, it's enough? Kakashi's expression was very angry. I'm going to see what he left. If it's not good, throw it all in the trash. Chapter 601. Shortly after the end of the four-country meeting, the Wind Country and the Water Country held a private meeting. I didn't expect the Raikage to agree to cede land. Handbao leaned on the chair, looking a little lazy, but he looked tired. Terumi crossed her arms in front of her chest, and her arms unintentionally squeezed her chest, making her chest tremble slightly. She smiled and said, "It seems that Kumogakure really suffered a lot after taking the wood leaf." The daimyo of the two countries were relatively strict people, and they sat aside. The daimyo of the Water Country cleared his throat, "So why don't we take this opportunity to join forces and take down Kumogakure directly?" The daimyo of the Wind Country seemed to have no opinion, and he said, "It would be a great thing if we can take it down." The daimyo of the Water Country saw that the daimyo of the Wind Country also had the same idea, and he said, "Then when we completely control the land of the Fire Country, let's join forces to get rid of Kumogakure." The Mizukage turned to look at Handbao. "What does the Kazekage think?" Handbao frowned, and there was some worry on his face. Although the Lightning Country agreed to cede land, they didn't propose a truce at the four-country meeting. This is strange. The meeting was silent for a moment. This was indeed a very suspicious point. The country of Lightning already possessed such a large territory. It's reasonable to say that they are eager to make peace now. Although a truce agreement can't do much, it's not a problem to delay it for a year or two. After all, breach of contract, whether it's an individual or a country, is a thing that the world condemns. If you want to break the contract, you must have a reason. A year or two is a short time to find a reason for a big country. Could it be Kumogakure deliberately set up a trap? The daimyo of the Wind Country said. The daimyo of the Water Country immediately said, "It's also possible." Hearing that his idea was recognized, the daimyo of the Wind Country had a few more smiles on his face, and he looked a little proud. Handbao sighed, "It's better to wait and see." This proposal was more pertinent, and several people present agreed. Finally, everyone thought of the Rain Country. "What do you think about the Rain Country?" The Rain Country can share half of the land with Kumogakure. Their strength isn't simple. The name of the Water Nation was a hot topic. The daimyo of the Wind Country said as if it was a matter of course, "How could a village governed by a ninja who was given the title of demigod be simple?" Hanbao said, "But Hanzo-senpai didn't make a move this time." The great name of the country of wind replied, "Didn't we already say that the throne has been passed on? That little brat who likes to change his face." Mei had a thoughtful look on her face. He whispered, "It's a pity that the surviving ninjas of Woodleaf have been cursed, so they can't say what happened that day. I don't know if Tsunagakure has studied the seal jutsu. If we can solve the seal jutsu, it will make things a lot easier." Everyone looked at the Handbao. Handbao smiled bitterly. If the mist can't do it, the Tsunagakure can't do it either. At this point, there was nothing left to say. The main theme of today's meeting is Kumogakure and the Land of Lightning. The daimyo of the Water Country concluded, "In fact, there's nothing to hesitate about. If we don't take action against Kumogakure now, then later. When Kumogakure recovers, there will be no more opportunities." Everyone was silent. That was the real pain in his heart. Kumogakure's territory is too big now, and there are too many materials. If they are allowed to develop freely, there may be no Sannin and Mist in a few years. There will be no Wind Country and no Water Country. Great Snow Mountain Research Institute. Naruto listened to some reports from Obito. The Akatsuki also made a lot of preparations for Enrage's heart. One of them is to pretend to be dead. Let the members of the Akatsuki deliberately die on the battlefield, or show that they are seriously injured. Otherwise, with 7 Kage-tears standing there, even if Enrage's heart is big, he can't sleep. Most of those who pretended to be dead were taken to the snow country by Naruto. Among them, Hayden, Sasori, and Zetsu pretended to be dead. Deidara and Kisame were seriously injured. The only ones that were still intact were the leader, Obito, and a powerful spiritual beast that could control puppets, the little flying squirrel. Has Kakashi's head been sent? After Obito finished his report, Naruto began to ask. Obito replied, "It has been sent, and Enrage is very satisfied." But, Naruto looked at Obito, "What's wrong?" Obito was a little guilty. That head is really not Kakashi's head? Naruto didn't say anything about the clone, he just said, "No, it's just a very similar person." Obito nodded with some peace of mind. Then, "Is that guy okay recently?" "That guy's heart is actually very fragile. I'm worried." Naruto interrupted, "Don't worry, Kakashi's child is about to be born, and he is about to be a father. He certainly won't kill himself." Obito was shocked. "What? Child?" The wood leaf was destroyed in his hands. He is still in the mood to do this? Could it be that he is decadent and fell into wine and women? That woman can't be. Naruto interrupted again, "Don't talk nonsense, the two of them are in love. The reason why this kind of thing happened is that she felt sorry for Kakashi, so she put down her pride. Otherwise, I don't know when Kakashi will succeed. After all, that guy has low EQ. Let me tell you, those who are strong in hands-on skills have low EQ. Look at you, you are still single." Obito, is this a compliment or an insult? But then again, this is a bit too big, it actually involved him. Then, I'm also an uncle now. Naruto bombarded again, "Can you be a little more promising, and want to be a father?" Obito's face darkened, and he muttered, "There are no women in the Akatsuki now, are you blaming me?" Naruto suggested, "I took Hayden and Sasori away, there are still 2 vacancies in the Akatsuki, you can indeed recruit 2 more girls." The Akatsuki is indeed a little weak in terms of men. I am afraid that you will become gay after a long time. Obito's face darkened again, and he asked, "Aren't you also in the Akatsuki?" Naruto shrugged. "We are different, I am at most a temporary guest. Besides, I will be getting married on the day that the world is unified." Obito's heart was stabbed again. "You proposed to Hinata?" Naruto smiled mysteriously. "Not yet, I want to give her a surprise. When I become the king of the world, I will let her be the king's woman, and then the world will celebrate and hold an unparalleled wedding." She was choking on the dog food she had just eaten. Obito felt that he had a bad mouth. Why did he ask this? Boring, what's so good about marriage? There are thousands of flowers in this world, once you get married, they will have nothing to do with you. Obito was envious, but he continued to stab Naruto in the heart. Naruto was not to be outdone, and he mocked back, "Oh? Then you are still a single dog, you can visit thousands of flowers, right?" Obito's heart was stabbed again, "As if you have." Naruto said righteously, "I am only 17 years old this year, a fake age." Obito's face darkened. There was no way to chat. What the F***CK? Go F***CK yourself. Chapter 602. Obito admitted that he had lost when it came to women. He changed the topic. "There's one thing I don't quite understand. With Akatsuki's current strength, they can take the opportunity to destroy Kumogakure. Why bother to support the Lightning Country?" Naruto looked at Obito with a smile and asked, "You really don't understand?" Obito opened his mouth again. "I don't understand. I feel that what I'm doing now is very similar to what you said in the past." Naruto asked curiously, "That sentence?" Obito said word by word, "Take off your pants and fart." Naruto was speechless, took a deep breath, and criticized, "Vulgar. Idiot." Obito rolled his eyes, and his face was very disapproving. Obviously, he didn't think he said anything wrong. Naruto didn't want to explain, because it was a very troublesome thing to explain. This was the conclusion that Naruto recalled the past 5,000 years of dynasty changes in the past. Naruto's history in his previous life wasn't very good, but he still knew a lot. And with the calculation of this life's super brain, he came up with today's plan. Although he didn't want to explain, Naruto still asked Obito, "Even if you destroy Kumogakure, Sannin, and Mist, so what? Is the world yours?" Obito replied, "Yes, if not, we can sweep through the other small countries, then organize them and put them together." "Wouldn't that be enough? Isn't that enough?" Naruto didn't ask again, and directly teleported back to the snow country. Obito looked at the sky in doubt. "Did I say something wrong?" After a while, Naruto replied on the spiritual network. "At my wedding, I want the whole world to celebrate, not to be condemned by thousands of people. I want everyone to welcome me to rule them." Obito snorted, "How is that possible? You destroyed their country, that's a big hatred. If you ask me, being condemned by 1,000 people is a light punishment. You should tie a straw man to Tion and stab you." Naruto replied, "That's why I want the lightning country to be my shield. The country of lightning brought war to the world, but I am here to quell chaos. I bring peace." Obito thought for a long time. Using the lightning country as a shield? Quelling chaos. I see. I understand now. So that's how it is. Obito muttered a few words to himself. Then, he found Naruto on the spiritual network. "I've figured it out. You want to play the role of a hero saving a damsel in distress, right?" This time, it was Naruto's turn to hesitate. It's not that Obito is wrong. It was just that Obito's summary was too vivid. It was the hero saving the damsel in distress. The human heart was that beautiful woman, and the lightning country was that evil tyrant. The person who took down the lightning country was naturally a hero. Win the people's heart and the beauty. The summary was very good, but Naruto still mocked him. "You just figured it out? Idiot." Obito mocked back. "Insidious." Naruto didn't care. "Don't use words if you don't understand. This is not insidious. This is strategy. This is wisdom." In the following 6 months, the rain country was very quiet. Whether it was the wind country or the water country, they seemed to have forgotten this rising star. The friction between the lightning country and the other two countries happened from time to time, and it became more and more intense. Finally, at the end of the year, the two countries finally couldn't bear it and launched a war against the lightning country. The country of wind directly attacked the country of fire occupied by the country of lightning. The water country attacked the rear of the lightning country. The lightning country was attacked from the front and the rear, and the lightning country was defeated. Fortunately, the rain country's support was timely, and they attacked the wind country from the rear. In the end, the Kazekage and the daimyo of the wind country were captured. After the crisis of the wind country was resolved, the lightning country went all out to attack the mist. In the end, the mist wanted to cede their land and ask for peace, but the Raikage refused. That day, the name of Blood Mist Village was well deserved. There were few captives, and only the Mizukage and Mei were imprisoned. The name of the Raikage tyrant also spread. A month after the war stopped, the Raikage and the leader of the Rain country met again. This time, it was Naruto who pretended to be the Raikage. The location of the meeting was in the land of Fire country, which was under the control of the Lightning country. In the Rain country, under the Nepenthes, Zetsu's half-black and half-white face was full of confusion as he looked at Obito, who was lying on a tree reading a book. "You let that kid replace you again?" Obito replied, "It's good to have someone to do that kind of troublesome thing." Zetsu looked at Obito quietly. He already knew that a lot of things were not right. Obito was not right, and the new Naruto was also not right. "I'm curious, where did you transfer Sasori and Haiden to?" Obito replied, "On an island, there are mountains, rivers, and forests, the scenery is beautiful, and it's suitable for seclusion. Zetsu frowned. Seclusion? What do you mean? Obito explained, it means not to be disturbed by external affairs, and to concentrate on cultivation. Zetsu commented, you're talking more and more strangely now. Zetsu continued to ask, how long are you going to wait to catch the Hachibi? Obito didn't look up and said, soon, at most half a year. Although Zetsu was a little impatient, half a year was not long. He has been waiting for hundreds of years. Then, I'll let you play this boring game for another half a year, and after half a year, you must catch the Hachibi. Obito nodded perfunctorily. I know. Zetsu looked at Obito very puzzled. Is this the so-called rebellious period of human beings? But isn't that only children have it? Is Obito menopause? No, isn't that only women have it? Men also have it. Obito asked, by the way, have you found the whereabouts of the other eye of the Rinnegan? A Rinnegan can't resurrect Madara. Zetsu had a smile on his face. I haven't found it, but we can recreate a pair of Rinnegan. Recreate? Obito finally raised his head and looked at Zetsu in surprise. Zetsu changed the topic and said, by the way, I recently found a very talented person who can be of great use with a little guidance. Do you want to go and see? A newcomer brought by Zetsu? What kind of trick is this? Obito thought about it, put down the book in his hand, and replied, okay, you lead the way. Zetsu went into the trunk, and Obito followed closely. However, Obito's wood release was obviously not at the same level as Zetsu, and Zetsu often stopped and waited for Obito. When the two appeared again, they were in a small town. The person is in the house. The two went into the house. Obito was surprised. A girl? The girl on the opposite side blinked cutely. Can't a girl? The girl was very cute, 13 or 14 years old, with black hair in 2 ponytails, and a beautiful face. Her skin was white like a porcelain doll. Obito waved his hand awkwardly. No, of course, gender is not a problem. Are you a ninja? The girl shook her head. Obito turned to look at Zetsu, then Zetsu said, Shaolin, this is the big brother I said I wanted to introduce to you that day. Show big brother what you're capable of. The girl nodded cleverly. Let's go outside. Shaolin doesn't want to destroy things in the house anymore. Then the girl disappeared directly in front of his eyes. Obito was surprised. Space ninjutsu? Zetsu smiled. How is it? Very good, right? But it seems to be natural. Outside the house, the girl's pupils narrowed slightly, like a cat's vertical eye or a snake's pupil. It only took a moment to return to normal. The smile on her face was very pleasant. Chapter 603. Land of Fire. Daimyo Mansion. Temporary camp of the Cloud Village. At this time, a grand banquet was being held. It was a celebration banquet to celebrate the victory of the Land of Lightning and the Land of Rain. Naruto participated in the banquet wearing Obito's mask. You're here to drink today, yet you're still wearing this mask? Reikage saw Naruto's costume and joked. Naruto took off his mask, revealing an old face that was the same as Reikage's. Reikage's expression instantly changed. Why did he say that? It's better to wear a mask, so he won't have to show such a shameful thing. No, that face is his, so it's not shameful. Then what should I say? Reikage suddenly felt tired. Do you want to change your appearance? Look at the one over there, he's very good. If you pretend to be me, we won't know who to toast. Fortunately, Naruto was still cooperative. He put on the mask, took it off, and changed his face, making Reikage feel better. Walking in the daimyo mansion, Naruto praised, Not bad, this will be your territory from now on, right? Reikage waved his hand. How can I enjoy such a good place? This time, I'm just using it for the banquet. After a few days, when the banquet is over, I'll have to give it to the daimyo mansion. Give it to the daimyo mansion? Naruto raised his brows. Why do you want to change the name of the Land of Lightning to the capital? Reikage nodded. The land of fire is fertile and located in the plains. It's much better than our stone mountains. Moreover, the land of fire is the central area, and the capital is built here. It's convenient to dispatch the various regions. Naruto shook his head and praised, "You're so generous. But this time, you also made a lot of money after destroying the land of water, right?" Reikage nodded. The salary doubled, and so did the cloud's military allocation. Naruto asked, "How much?" Reikage looked around, and no one was around, so he waved 5 fingers. Naruto guessed, 500 million? Reikage rolled his eyes. 500 million my ass. 5 million. Naruto nodded. Is this your salary? Reikage shook his head again. I'm talking about military funding. The corner of Naruto's mouth twitched. Isn't your family's name too cheap? Even the treasury of a poor place like the Wind Nation has tens of billions. And that's just banknotes. All kinds of jewelry are innumerable. You, Reikage said helplessly, how can we be the same? You're the boss of Rain Country, and I'm just an employee. Let's not talk about this anymore. 5 million silver taels is not bad. It's equivalent to the reward of 5 or 6 S-rank missions. Come, let's go in. Today is a celebration. If the country of rain hadn't dealt with the country of wind, the country of lightning wouldn't have been able to deal with the country of water so easily. The banquet was bustling with noise and excitement, and it continued until nightfall. Although Reikage and Naruto drank all day, they didn't drink too much. One was really good at drinking, and the other was good at using space ninjutsu. While everyone was still celebrating, the two of them went to a private room to discuss some matters. Are you okay? Do you want a bowl of hangover soup? Reikage was like a big brother, and he cared about Naruto. Naruto waved his hand and bragged. It's not a big deal. I can drink with them 7 times. Reikage laughed a few times. Naruto suddenly asked, "Do you really intend to keep that name?" Reikage was silent. It can be seen that Reikage also has some thoughts about this name. Reikage shook his head and sighed. I really envy your life. Then he said, the daimyo is recruiting private soldiers recently. The meaning didn't need to be said. The daimyo was recruiting private soldiers, so it was self-evident who to guard against. Then Reikage said, recently, people are saying that I'm an executioner, and I slaughtered the entire village. Naruto nodded. He naturally knew about this. Reikage sighed. This news spread too fast. Even if the people of the mist escaped, the news shouldn't have spread so fast. After that, Reikage stared at Naruto's eyes. Naruto laughed. Do you think I did it? Reikage also laughed. I don't blame you if you did it. There are only 2 big countries left in the world, and if they continue to fight, it will be our turn. In that case, we won't have the opportunity to sit down and drink like this in the future. The two of them picked up their wine glasses, clinked them, and drank the wine in one gulp. Reikage continued. It doesn't matter if you did it or not. People are like this. Even if you didn't do it, I can't help but think so. Just like the daimyo of the lightning country, even if I don't want to take his position, I can't prevent him from suspecting me. This was the truth. Trust is too extravagant. It's said that you can't hurt others, but you can't let your guard down. This is the principle of a good person. However, when you're guarding against others, the so-called trust doesn't exist. Reikage said again. Do you know why ninjas have apprentices? Naruto thought for a moment. Inheritance? Reikage shook his head and said bluntly. Nonsense. The number of people I kill is the same as the number of people I kill. When I'm strong, those people don't dare to trouble me, but when I'm old and weak, they will lurk around me like a snake, ready to kill me at any time. Apprentices are like this, they can protect their lives when they're old, and the village is the same. After that, Reikage drank his glass. Reikage looked like he drank too much. But in fact, Naruto's powerful spiritual power could feel that Reikage's soul was still very clear. So, he said so much it means that he has a plan in his heart. After drinking the wine again, Reikage handed the glass to Naruto. "Come, let's drink again." Naruto took the glass and was about to drink it. But the moment the wine entered his nose, Naruto smelled a trace of fishy smell that rice wine shouldn't have. This smell was very light, and ordinary people couldn't detect it. In addition, there was fish on the table, so even a dog couldn't detect it. However, Naruto's premonition still made him feel that this wine was unusual. The strength of the perception enchantment increased, and he swept the glass in his hand. Some particles that shouldn't be in the wine were reflected in his mind. The system's super brain assistant software ran and searched the database according to the particles. In less than a millisecond, it locked on a herb, Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus was poisonous, but the toxicity was not strong, because it could cause allergic reactions and cause red spots on the surface of the skin. So when poisoned, it looked terrible on the surface. But in fact, even without treatment, it would recover in half a month. Unless a large amount was ingested at one time, it would be directly poisoned to death. The dose in this glass was not fatal. What's going on? That. Just now we talked about trust, so in order to show that what you said is right, how about we exchange glasses? Naruto handed the glass to Reikage, and then took Reikage's glass. As a result, Naruto didn't need to use the perception enchantment to detect it. Not only that, the result of the scan showed that there was more in this glass. Meow meow. What's going on? What is Reikage trying to do? The system reminded, if you drink this glass, your face will be swollen for a month. Are you sure you want to drink it? What a humane system. Naruto asked, "Fatty?" The system replied, "Boss, it's me. Naruto." Chapter 604. Both cups were poisoned. Was he trying to harm them? But where did this stupid thief come from to use Ophidian as poison? If he wanted to make this thing into a poison, he needed to mix it with other drugs. What's the taste if he chewed it? Should he beat him at his own game and see what would happen next? Naruto felt that if he didn't try such a fun thing, he would be a bit disappointed. Hey! Wait. Just as Reikage was about to drink, Naruto suddenly said, "I prefer drinking from my cup." As he said that, he handed the wine glass back to Yi-Zichin and quickly snatched back his own wine glass. He spilled a lot on the way. Reikage didn't rush to drink this time. He looked at Naruto and said, "You did you find something?" Naruto. There was a story behind this sentence. Could it be the poison was given by Reikage? Why? Why did he increase the dosage? Is he crazy? Naruto looked at Reikage in confusion. Reikage suddenly laughed and said, "It seems that you found it. How did you find it? Look at you, you even found out the difference in dosage between the two cups." At this point, there was no need to continue to play dumb. Reikage was certain that it was done by this idiot. "You used the Ophiuchus?" Reikage looked at Naruto with amazement and said, "It's not simple, it's not simple. Have you used it before?" Naruto nodded and said, "I have used it before, but I didn't use it alone. What else can it do besides disgusting people?" Disgusting people. It seems to be good. Wasn't this just like his fart candy, which was a different approach to achieving the same result? Naruto suddenly had an idea in his mind. If this thing was used on girls and boys who were vain, wouldn't they be too ashamed to see anyone for a week? She might even lose her appetite in a fit of anger, her aunt said disapprovingly. Hilarious. Reikage didn't know what was going on in Naruto's mind. Seeing that Naruto had seen through his thoughts, he explained, "Then I'll just tell you my intentions. After drinking this glass of wine, the news of you being poisoned in the Land of Thunder will spread out. At that time, the alliance between the Land of Thunder and the Land of Rain will be dissolved." Just like that. Naruto looked at Reikage's cup. "Then why did you poison yourself?" Reikage replied, "After all, it's not good to poison our allies. This way, you're poisoned, and I'm poisoned too. If you say it was me, I can also say it was you." "Huh? You can do that?" Naruto asked. Then, Since both of them were poisoned, it can also be said that the outside world wants to break up our alliance, right? Reikage nodded and agreed. This is also useful. With a strong enemy outside, the daimyo of the Land of Lightning will have to think twice before making a move on me. I can still look away. Also, if the great master of the country of lightning talks more with you, I will be able to calm down a little. Ha! Naruto rolled his eyes. I don't like to talk. Maybe if he annoys me, I'll kill him in a fit of anger. Reikage was happy. Then I'll have to thank you. Reikage drank the cup in one gulp. Reikage looked at Naruto. You don't want to drink? If you don't drink, it means you poisoned me. Is the country of rain really going to have such a bad reputation? Naruto suddenly felt a headache. If he knew this would happen, he would have asked Obito to come. For no reason, Naruto's heart flashed 2 lines of a poem. Persuading the ruler to drink a cup of wine, leaving the West without an old friend. The literal translation really complements each other. What the fuck persuading the ruler to drink a cup of wine, and what the fuck no old friend? Naruto picked up the cup and drank it. This wine has no friends. After I defeat you, I'll prepare a big jar of Ophiuchus wine for you. Naruto left a ruthless sentence and left. Now it's time to show off his acting skills. The moment he went out, Naruto's poison took effect. The next day, the whole world spread the news that the leader of the country of rain was killed in the country of lightning. Then on the 3rd day, the country of lightning came out to clarify that Reikage was poisoned. The whole thing had become complicated and confusing. The leaders of the 2 countries haven't made a decision yet. The people below were quarreling, and from time to time, there were always 3 people arguing in the streets. One by one, they were arguing until their faces were red. Naruto walked on the street of the country of rain. When he looked up, 2 people were arguing in front of him. This must be the work of the country of lightning. The person next to him said, I don't think so. Isn't Reikage also poisoned? I heard that many people who were present at the ceremony saw it with their own eyes. You still say that Reikage was poisoned more than our leader. The person who suggested that Reikage was poisoned continued, this is just a trick. They have the antidote, of course. They are not afraid of poison. Not to mention anything else, Reikage is not dead. That explains everything. Then the person next to him said, isn't our leader okay? The person who said before was not happy. That's because our leader is powerful. If it were you, you would have died long ago. The country of rain was quarreling like this. There was no need to think about the country of lightning. Now, the country of lightning was much more complicated than the country of rain. Naturally, there were all kinds of opinions. Those countries that were destroyed were celebrating, saying that it was their national hero who did it. Naruto also had some new feelings about this matter. People, for what the truth is, they don't care at all. They just believe the truth that they want to believe. Naruto still remembered that when he came back, Obito asked him what was going on. If it was the country of lightning who poisoned Reikage, then they should go and destroy the country of lightning. Naruto told the truth, but Obito didn't believe it. In the end, Naruto showed the information to Obito, and then Obito believed it. Obito commented, 2 lunatics. Naruto walked up the stairs with a complicated mood. When he turned the corner, his eyes seemed to clear a lot. A very cute little loli was walking toward him. The little loli walked on her tiptoes, as light as a little black cat. How could such a cute little loli appear in the Akatsuki's apartment? Naruto looked at the little loli, and the little loli also looked at Naruto. At this time, Naruto's long hair was like blood, his square face was slightly cold, and there was a kind of cynical playfulness in his eyes. Overall, he looked evil, not like a good person. But the moment the sun shined on his face, he felt a trace of warmth. He was like the big brother next door. This was a mixture of many contradictions. It seemed that he was what he looked at. Charm radiated everywhere. The moment the little loli saw Naruto, her eyes lit up. Big brother, how do I get to the training room? Stupid scale got lost again. Naruto looked at the little loli. 3 words appeared in his mind. So cute. But, whose child is this? How could there be such a cute girl in the Akatsuki? Isn't the current Akatsuki full of male creatures? Isn't it a gay organization? Little sister, who are you looking for in the training room? The little girl obediently replied, I'm looking for my masked big brother. Masked big brother said that he will teach me how to control my power. I can become his family after I learn it. Masked big brother? The masked man in the Akatsuki is Obito. Become his family? Naruto suddenly thought of ridiculing Obito for not having a girlfriend. Could it be that because of his stimulation, Obito found a girl to join the Akatsuki? But how could he do this to such a little girl? Sure enough, he is a beast. Chapter 605. Naruto, the Land of Lightning, sent a letter, saying that it's for the leader of the Rain Village, but after reading it, I think it's for you. Early in the morning, as soon as Naruto woke up, he received a message from Obito. Under the message, there was a storage box number, S060903. Password, guess. S represents the highest level, and it's the storage area shared by level 4 and above ID cards in Naruto. The last three numbers are the coordinates of the XYZ axis of the space coordinate system. Naruto clicked on the link, and the system page directly jumped to the storage panel. The system prompted, please enter the password. Naruto typed, guess. The system prompted, password is incorrect. You have 3 chances to enter the password. If you enter the password 3 times, the storage box will be locked. Naruto's face darkened. It turned out that Obito really wanted him to guess the password. Guess my ass. 5-star authorization directly forced the door open. Then, he saw a lot of things that he shouldn't have seen, a row of neatly arranged girls' underwear. Black, white, red, yellow, purple, green, blue, gray, thin, translucent. There were all kinds of things, and endless fanciful thoughts. Did Reikage give this to him? The system prompted, Guru requests a projection call. Naruto sighed in his heart. It was quite busy this early in the morning. He clicked accept, and the image of Guru wearing small underwear appeared on Naruto's bed. Master, if you have any needs, just tell me, Guru said as he slowly crawled over like a kitten, his movements extremely seductive. Such a scene made Naruto take a deep breath. He swallowed his saliva. Why did you sneakily open my closet? Guenai asked in a coquettish voice. Sneakily open the small clothes closet? When did he? Obito. Naruto instantly reacted. The one he forcefully opened just now was brought to the pit. At this time, Guru was already in front of Naruto. If he moved a few more steps, his face would be touching. Master, which one do you like? I'll wear it for you to see. Guru's seductive eyes were like silk. Even if it was just a projection and not a real person, Naruto felt that he could not hold on any longer. He couldn't continue like this. Naruto decisively took out the letter that Obito gave him and showed it to Guru. Guni's brows furrowed adorably. I see. How boring. But Guni smiled ambiguously. His face moved closer to Naruto's ear, and he whispered, but if Master wants to, I'll do what I say. Then, she blinked cutely at Naruto, and the image faded away. After the image left, Naruto finally let out a long sigh of relief. It's stressful to be too outstanding. This matter is not over yet, I have to talk to Obito. Naruto planned to find trouble with Obito. However, after Obito explained Naruto's call, he said disapprovingly, sorry, it's S060309. The numbers are reversed. Naruto. And then? Of course, he could not let anyone know about this morning's embarrassing incident. Naruto asked in annoyance, where's the password? Obito replied, guess. Naruto's anger rose again. Guess my ass. Tell me the password. Obito gave an innocent look. You guess the password. Naruto. What a terrible morning. Naruto ignored Obito. He went to open the treasure chest. Obito of the Rain Country giggled happily, and with the addition of Adair, he looked like a hen laying eggs. The system interface opened the treasure chest. There was a flash of blue light in front of Naruto, and a beam of light fell in front of Naruto. The beam of light dissipated, revealing a ninja scroll. It was the Raikage scroll. Looking at the scroll, Naruto couldn't help but mock, what a backward method of transmitting information. It's not efficient at all. The scroll unfurled. There was only one sentence, and this sentence almost made Naruto's lungs explode. Thanks to you, the Wind Country's ninjas have begun to contact us and want to join us. Naruto's face was already black. The Wind Country was destroyed by the Rain Country, so he had a grudge against them. After the news that the Rain Country's leader was poisoned in Kimogakure, Naruto expected that the Wind Country's ninjas would take this opportunity to take the initiative to contact Kimogakure for revenge. This was also part of Naruto's plan. If the Wind Country and Kimogakure joined forces, Kimogakure's strength would grow, and defeating the Rain Country would be a matter of course. However, Naruto didn't expect the Raikage to be so cheap that he even wrote a letter to inform him. Bitch! Naruto yelled. This morning, he really took it seriously. Naruto felt that first a group of groundhogs came to his heart, and then a group of alpacas ran to him. Naruto took a deep breath. He made a note of this. Originally, he planned to prepare a jar of Ophiuchus wine for the Raikage. But now it seems that it's not enough. How can it be? How can he add a ton of fart candy? And that guy Obito is really cheap. He should have just thrown this letter away, but he still sent it to him. Obito also needs to add a ton. With a decision, Naruto picked up the shiitake butterfly mushroom in the flower pot on the windowsill, turned around, and went into the laboratory next door. He's going to start making fart candy. And new things based on the Ophiuchus herb. So Naruto disappeared from everyone's sight for a week. This week, in the eyes of others, Naruto was mysterious, and they didn't know what he was doing. But when Naruto reappeared, the smile on Naruto's face was obviously more brilliant than before. It was the kind of expression one would have when one was in high spirits during a joyous occasion. His steps were light, his head was high, and his chest was high, as if he was the top scorer in the imperial exam. He was proud and overjoyed. After another month, according to reliable news, Kimogakure and Sunegakure's remaining ninjas reached a consensus. Sunegakure's remaining ninjas joined Kimogakure. Kimogakure's internal system also changed. In the original system, an external organization was set up. The full name was External Ninja, and it was dedicated to recruiting ninjas who wanted to join Kimogakure but were not trained by Kimogakure. After the establishment of the External Ninja Group, the Lightning Country finally started to attack the Rain Country. The first test was the sovereignty of the Fire Country ceded by the Wind Country and the Rain Country. Although Naruto's strategy was to let the Lightning Country win first. But he still had to do it. So for this territory, the two countries fought a diplomatic lawsuit. The fight lasted for a month. In the end, the Raikage made a big move, saying that it was the leader of the Rain Country who poisoned him. At that time, he didn't say it because of old friendship. Now that the Rain Country was getting more and more excessive, he decided to announce the news. At that moment, everyone was watching. Many small countries sent messengers to watch the ceremony. Obito wanted to directly go up and skin the Raikage alive. But he was stopped by Naruto. Back in the Rain Country, Obito was very angry. How can you endure this? Naruto laughed. The fish in the deep sea can't directly float to the surface. Even if they want to go up, they have to swim slowly from the bottom. They have to give the body time to adjust the pressure in the body. Otherwise, they will only swell to death. In just a year, the Raikage was promoted from the village chief to the position he is now. It's hard for him not to swell. So now, we don't need to do anything, just quietly watch him explode. Obito was confused and didn't understand at all. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Have you seen a live hairtail? Obito thought for a moment. I eat cooked ones. Naruto, do you have nothing to do today? If you have nothing to do, you can go fishing with the fishermen. Obito replied, I have something to do. Today, I have to teach Xiaolin how to control chakra. Naruto already knew that the new girl in the Akatsuki was called Xiaolin. He opened his mouth and wanted to mock Obito, but thinking of Obito's miserable life, he didn't say it. An uncle liked a loli. As long as the loli was willing, there was nothing wrong with it. Age was not a problem, and height was not a difference. As long as there was love, not to mention these things, it was understandable that races would occasionally cross over. Okay, then I'll go first. Naruto left quite understandingly. Chapter 606. Under the concession of the Rain Country, Kumogakure got the land of the original Fire Country. After that, Kumogakure stopped for less than a month and began to attack the territory of the original Fire Country occupied by the Rain Country. Spiritual Network. Obito found Naruto, and his tone was full of anger. The rakeage has become more and more unscrupulous recently. Yesterday, the granary of the western town was burned, and several farm animals were poisoned. This time it's just livestock, and soon it'll be people. Are we just going to watch? Naruto replied, Isn't that good? It's in line with the plan. The more irritable and arrogant he is, the more arrogant he is. Although that's what he said, Obito still felt suffocated. No matter what, those people are now his people. Naruto continued, Moreover, the more oppressed those people are now, the more grateful they will be when we save them. Obito felt his body become heavier. That kind of heaviness made him breathless. Let's find another way. Is there no other way? Obito's voice had a hint of pleading. Mercy, compassion, are the weaknesses of human nature, but also the most glorious side of human heart. Naruto didn't hate it. In fact, although Naruto said those cold words, in fact, he has already thought of a way. And the plan has been drafted, and Naruto is going to implement it even if Obito doesn't ask. People are not plants. How can they be ruthless? Moreover, Naruto is very protective of people. Naruto passed the drafted plan to Obito. Since you have come to beg me, then do as written. Obito received Naruto's information. He opened the information and read 10 lines at a glance. He was surprised. You want to move the people of the Wind Country to the Fire Country? What's the use of this? Naruto asked. You don't know? Obito was stunned. I don't know, the people of the Wind Country are not suffering much. If you pull them over, won't they also suffer? Naruto chuckled and replied. Hee, then don't know. Just do as I say, and you'll know soon enough. Obito wanted to ask more, but Naruto had already hung up. During this time, Naruto has been paying attention to the movements of the Lightning Country. In the Land of Lightning, Kumogakure's group set fire to the granary of the Land of Rain's territory and killed livestock. Naruto saw it all. Then he found that this kind of atrocity only happened in the Fire Country. The Country of Wind, which was occupied by the Country of Rain, rarely had this kind of situation occur. Even if it did, it would be an extremely rare case. And the losses were not serious. It's not difficult to infer why. The Cloud Village's people of the Sand Village were naturally taken care of Sand's people. Naruto's plan was to move the people of the Land of Wind to the Land of Fire and let them live together with the people of the Land of Fire. In this case, you burning rice? Livestock. Then let the Wind Country Village's people starve together. By then, Naruto won't have to trouble the rakeage. The Sunagakure ninjas under rakeage will also cause trouble. Although Obito didn't understand the reason. But in the end, he still followed Naruto's instructions. Naruto's words seemed to have a magical power for him. Whether it was right or wrong, whether he was willing or not, in the end, he would do what Naruto said. Obito didn't realize this himself. After the people of the Wind Country were scattered and lived with the people of the Fire Country, the effect was remarkable. In a month, the invasion of various areas was significantly reduced. Obito, who was originally depressed, was shocked by Naruto's plan. A seed called Naruto is right silently sprouted in Obito's heart. Naruto, what is going on? Naruto was also surprised by Obito. You still haven't figured it out? Obito was embarrassed as he racked his brain. Because, what? Naruto began to worry about Obito's IQ. Did Koto Amatsukami affect Obito's IQ? It's really possible. Naruto thought of the husky with the wolf bloodline. He's so stupid. Naruto began to dispel Obito's doubts. Obito suddenly realized and said, "Oh, it's so simple. Why didn't I think of it at the beginning?" Naruto didn't want to judge this anymore. Now that this matter is solved, the Raikage must have a thorn in his heart. No one likes a disobedient subordinate. I believe it won't be long before the Raikage launches a general attack on the Fire Country. And on the grounds of protecting the people of the Wind Country, the Sand Village's ninjas rushed to the front line as cannon fodder. Obito asked, "Then what are we going to do next? If we kill those people, won't the Raikage get what he wants?" Obito thought for a moment and continued, "Then can't we just kill them and then withdraw directly?" Naruto asked, "Have you seen anyone give up the land directly? Even if it's acting, can't you be more professional?" Obito was in a dilemma. Then what should we do? We can't kill those people. Naruto rolled his eyes. Who said we can't kill them? The more ethnic they are, the sooner we kill them, the better. This will make the Raikage less worried, and it will also make me less worried in the future. These people will be left alive to Tion's independence in the future. I'm too lazy to play with them. Kill them all, make a situation where both sides lose, and we will be forced to return to the Rain Country. Then the Akatsuki will also pack up and move to the Wind Country. There is no one there. Perfect. Naruto just hung up with Obito. Obito then received a mysterious letter. The letter claimed to be from Iwagakure and wanted to discuss an alliance with the Rain Country. Obito found Naruto again and passed the letter to Naruto. Naruto couldn't help but laugh after reading the letter. Iwagakure was much smarter than Tsunagakure. Tsunagakure directly joined the Lightning Country for revenge. Iwagakure, on the other hand, claimed to be an independent country and wanted to discuss cooperation with the Rain Country. This was one thing, and the other was the timing. They dared to do this mainly because the Lightning Country was suppressing the Rain Country, and they were sending charcoal in the snow. The choice seemed to be a loss. The person who could make this decision was also very bold. Do you want to see them? Obito understood Naruto's plan, and the Rain Country was going to lose Waterloo. Do you want to drag these people down with you? Naruto shook his head and said, "It's not necessary now. Let them stay where they are." Obito didn't understand again. He hung up again. Naruto video called Tobirama and said, "How's the daimyo of the Earth Country these days?" Tobirama replied, "He's in a good mental state, and he got a concubine yesterday." Naruto. Concubine? Naruto was so powerful, and he didn't have a wife yet. And even if he did, he could only dream about concubines. But Tobirama already got a concubine under his nose? Is he too good for the daimyo of the Earth Country? Forget it, anyway, I need this person to help me in the future, so I'll let him get a concubine. A little loli appeared in Tobirama's projection and said with dissatisfaction, "Naruto Onii-san, I'm arguing with Tobirama about this. That old guy is over 60 years old, right? His hair is white, and he's ruining an 18-year-old girl. I can't stand it." This person was Tobirama's brother and sister-in-law, Uzumaki Mito. Well, the lowly version. Naruto Onii-san, don't you think so? Can you bear it? Naruto said in his heart, no matter how old a man is, he likes an 18-year-old girl. But he firmly stood on the little lowly's side. I can't bear it. Uzumaki Mito was very excited, and her eyes were shining. Then let's go and get rid of the daimyo's concubine. Naruto Onii-san, why aren't you talking? Don't you agree with Mito? Do you also think that it's right to find an 18-year-old girl at 60 years old? Then when you're 60 years old, will you also find an 18-year-old girl? Hinata is so pitiful, I'd better tell her. Naruto suddenly had a headache. He shouted, "Stop! I promise you!" Uzumaki Mito was even happier. "Naruto Onii-san, you're the best. But you can take a few more Uzumaki people. Did you find the girl named Karen? The sooner you find her, the sooner you marry her, and then give birth to a lot of small Uzumaki to strengthen my Uzumaki clan." Naruto's headache became bigger. "Naruto Onii-san, it's a pity that Mito can't have children, or we can make small Uzumaki now." Naruto felt that the snow mountain was not suitable for him to stay. The Akatsuki organization was safer. Chapter 607. The Land of Thunder launched a general attack on the Land of Rain. The leaders of the Land of Rain disappeared. Just give up like this? Standing on the top of a mountain outside the Land of Rain, looking at the place where he lived for several years, Obito's heart was somewhat reluctant to part with it. The nepenthes on top of Obito's head opened and closed. One black and one white Inyong face had a doubtful expression. "Who are you asking? Isn't this your idea? Why do you regret it?" Obito was suddenly surprised and noticed Zetsu beside him. He replied, a little." The nepenthes on top of Zetsu's head opened and closed somewhat slowly. This was a small detail that Zetsu inadvertently revealed when he was thinking. Naruto looked at Zetsu and raised his eyebrows. Although he didn't know what was going on in Zetsu's head, Zetsu had suspected Obito for a long time. "Mask Gidge, we will come back, right?" The cute little girl pulled the corner of Obito's clothes. Obito turned his head and touched the little girl's head and asked, "Does Lin also like the Land of Rain?" The little girl seriously said, "Lin likes to be with everyone, as long as I am with everyone." Very cute answer. The hearts of all the old men present couldn't help but be touched. Obito rubbed Lin's head and praised, "Lin is so obedient." Scale's face revealed a complacent expression. Then when can Scale truly become a member of the organization? Obito replied, "Lin is now a member of the organization." Lin pouted, "I mean to become a real member, the kind with strength, and wear a ring like you." Obito pinched the little girl's cheek. "If you want a ring, you have to practice more diligently." Looking at the big and small happy appearance in front of him, Naruto suddenly felt a sense of crisis. Originally, he was the one who spread dog food to Obito. But now Obito wanted to overtake him. The members of the Akatsuki organization left the Land of Rain. Like a hot knife through butter, the Country of Lightning broke through all obstacles and conquered the Country of Rain. Raikage was among them, standing in the capital of the Land of Rain, but there was not much joy on his face, but more dignified. The strength of Akatsuki had once given him a great shock. It can be said that without the participation of the Akatsuki, Woodleaf wouldn't have lost to Kumogakure. Although the Akatsuki group suffered heavy losses in that battle, they still had the strength to fight against him. But now, he had left without a fight. What did he mean? Or perhaps, these people did not leave, but were still watching him from some corner of the country? Thinking of this, Raikage shuddered. He couldn't help but look around. Search every region. Gather everyone in the square first. Under Raikage's order, the people under him started to move. But after they gathered together, Raikage didn't know what to do. Because he didn't know what the leader of Akatsuki organization looked like. Should he kill all of them? All of you, listen up. I want to find your leader. If you can't find it, I'll kill all of you. Hearing this, a little girl in the crowd suddenly burst into tears. Raikage looked at the child. He frowned and shouted, "Separate the women and children." This time, the crowd was in chaos, but after seeing blood and killing people, they calmed down again. Raikage shouted, "Separating the women and children is giving them a way to live. If you make trouble again, all of you will die together." The crowd cooperated. There were also some old people with their hands together, closed their eyes, and muttered in their mouths as if they were praying to God. This scene made Raikage nervous. He thought that the person was going to release a ninjutsu. Seeing that they were praying to God, Raikage disdainfully said, there is no God in this world. You should pray that your leader will take pity on your lives and come out by yourself. After the crowd was separated, the women and children were taken elsewhere. Raikage shouted, I won't give you too much time. Tell me the whereabouts of your leader. Otherwise, I will kill one person in a second. Get ready. Now, start. 1. The ninja of the lightning country held a sword and clamped it on the neck of one of the rain country's people. The sword fell, and a person's head was cut off. There was no hesitation in the middle. It was as natural and casual as cutting vegetables. After cutting one person, the sword was placed directly on the neck of another person. 2. What happened in the rain country was in Naruto's perception enchantment. It was also under the eyes of White Zetsu. This made the Akatsuki, who was about to leave, stop. Obito gritted his teeth and said, I want to kill this guy. This time, Obito learned his lesson and said it in the spiritual network. Naruto replied, I also want to kill him, but I can't do it now. Zetsu said, Raikage's means are quite hateful. It seems that he is planning to slaughter the country? Naruto said, Do you want me to kill him? Obito wanted to nod, but according to Naruto's instructions, he said, Just go and teach him a lesson. Naruto replied, Retract. With that, Naruto directly disappeared from the Flying Thunder God technique. The space coordinates left by Naruto in the Akatsuki, there were too many Flying Thunder God technique. Most of the places he wanted to go. When Naruto reappeared, he was already sitting on a chair in the square. It was the square where Raikage gathered everyone. Naruto's appearance was disguised as Obito. Are you looking for me? In one sentence, the scene was silent. Raikage exhaled a long breath, turned around and said with a smile, If you came out earlier, things wouldn't be as awkward as now. Raikage smiled very kindly and walked step by step toward Naruto. Naruto looked at Raikage. Raikage's arrogant look was very annoying. But the more he was like this, the more Naruto wanted to praise Raikage. Praise Raikage's plasticity is too excellent. Now Raikage has become what he wants Raikage to become. So, if he really beat Raikage now, would he be scared of beating him up? Will he be restrained? If that's the case, the loss will outweigh the gain. Looking at such an excellent Raikage, Naruto was also surprised. Why don't you take the gift I gave you? Do you have to do this? Now that you've conquered the Rain Country, the people you're killing are your own people. Raikage didn't believe Naruto's words at all. He sneered, Are you mocking my IQ? If I didn't do this, you would still be hiding in the dark. Are you going to assassinate me when I'm not paying attention? What a good plan. Naruto couldn't make any expression with his mask on, so he shrugged. Whether you believe it or not, I was going to leave. Raikage took a deep breath. Let's stop talking about the past, it's meaningless to say anything now, you can only die here today. Chapter 608. You want to kill me? Naruto stared at Raikage, and his voice was full of playfulness. Raikage said coldly, Yes, today, I'm going to leave you here. Naruto suddenly disappeared and appeared behind Raikage, sneering, You think you're worthy? Raikage was shocked. Thunder and lightning burst out from his body, enveloping him in lightning. Raikage's taijutsu, lightning armor. Turn around. Lightning condensed on his elbow and hit directly behind him. Raikage's taijutsu, heavy current explosion. However, there was no one behind him. Raikage's body rotated to dissolve the force and stood still. Where is he? Raikage was inexplicably horrified. When he looked up, he found that Naru was standing not far in front of him. Looking at him, Raikage said, How did you do it? Even if it's the Flying Thunder God Jutsu, you need to mark the Flying Thunder God Jutsu first. Raikage and Yondaime Naruto fought, and he thought that he knew the Flying Thunder God Jutsu very well. But today, he found that Naruto was not in his understanding at all. Naruto said, You want to know? I'll tell you. Naruto attacked. He raised his hand and directly grabbed Reikage. Reikage activated the lightning armor to the extreme and used taijutsu to fight back. But the next moment, Naruto disappeared, and at the same time, his abdomen was hit hard. Naruto seemed to teleport directly in front of him. It easily pierced through his lightning armor. How is it possible? How can this person be so powerful? Reikage was hit hard in the abdomen, and he felt that he couldn't breathe. He hadn't had this experience for a long time. The last time he was taught a lesson by Reikage. I'll tell you. Naruto lifted Reikage, then disappeared with Reikage and entered the inner world of Preserved Egg. What everyone saw in the Rain Square was completely different from what happened in reality. In their eyes, Reikage and the masked man were still fighting back and forth. This was one of the uses of the invisibility barrier, seen illusion. Inside the inner world of Preserved Egg, Reikage was thrown on the dry ground by Naruto. It took a while for Reikage to recover. Naruto continued. If you want to know, I'll tell you. Within 1 kilometer of my body, as long as I want, I can teleport at will without using Flying Thunder God Jutsu. Because within 1 kilometer, it's my domain. Then, he pointed at his feet. And this is my world. It's not just 1 kilometer. As long as I'm in this world, I can teleport anywhere I want. To be able to teleport within a radius of 1 kilometer at will, what an insane ability. Reikage's first reaction was that he was bluffing and trying to confuse him. This caused him to misjudge again. But, where was this place? As far as the eye could see, it was a wasteland. There was not a trace of greenery, only stones and sand. It was the desert next door. This place was very similar to the landscape of the land of origin. It also resembled the landscape of the original Wind Nation. Then, this fellow in front of him brought him here? Wait a minute. There was another possibility, which was that he was under an illusion. Illusion. Yes, it was an illusion. Naruto didn't know what Reikage was thinking and said, originally, I planned to let you live happily for 1.5 years. But now, I just want to beat you up. The body flicker technique was useless. Speeding up, Naruto punched Reikage's abdomen again. With Naruto's mastery of the mist release, Reikage's lightning armor was useless. Reikage only felt darkness in front of him, and he was directly sent flying. Everything in front of me is an illusion. You can't fool me. Reikage took a breath and roared firmly. Illusion? You can think of it as an illusion. Naruto didn't need to make any hand seals. Thousands of Naruto surrounded Reikage. What followed after was a hearty round of beating. Reikage was beaten by a group of people. Reikage was beaten very badly. His bones were broken, and he was almost beaten to a pulp. But Reikage didn't die. It's not that the injury wasn't serious, but Naruto didn't intend to let him die. After the key was released, Naruto used medical ninjutsu to help Reikage recover. Reikage saw that Naruto was still a bit stubborn. And he still had his reason. It seems that the Lightning Country is yours. Naruto took off his mask and lifted the blindfold. He smiled and said, You are right, but not now. Naruto's 3 Tomo Sharingan was looking at Reikage. Reikage smiled and said, Sure enough, it was an illusion. Naruto didn't explain anymore. Just now, every punch was on the flesh, and it had nothing to do with illusion. Naruto operated the system, and soon a dragon eagle appeared in front of Naruto. This was a dragon eagle with only 1 Sharingan. Naruto muttered, In order to beat you up, I spent a lot of money this time. Ghost Bug Technique. Long Ing and Naruto fused into one. A vertical eye appeared in the middle of Naruto's eyebrows. The vertical eye opened, and the 3 Tomo Sharingan was upgraded to Manjikyu Sharingan. The Manjikyu Sharingan was Uchiha Shisui's Koto Amatsukami. Naruto grabbed Reikage's hair and lifted him up. What a waste. In the Rain Country, Reikage was like a thunder god. He held Naruto's head with both hands and then bombarded it to the ground. He directly hit Naruto deep in the ground. A big pit was left on the ground. Your leader has been killed by me. From today on, the rain country will be erased. Incorporated into the lightning country. On a big tree, White Zetsu's head stared at the scene in front of him. He passed on what happened to Zetsu. At the same time, on a building, two people, one tall and one short, were also watching the scene in front of them. Then there was one more person beside these two people. You also brought the little girl here. The little girl said to Naruto, "You are so bad, you were beaten without any power to fight back." Naruto, "That's all fake, okay? It was obviously him who beat Raikage." "That's fake." The little girl shook her head again and said, "I clearly saw you being beaten. And you were the one who pretended to be my masked Gige and got beaten up. You are so bad." Naruto instantly moved in front of the little girl, pinched the little girl's nose, and then instantly moved behind the little girl to scare her. But he didn't expect the little girl to look at him as if nothing happened and asked, "Why did you pinch my nose? Who told you to pinch my nose?" Naruto felt embarrassed. But that's not the point. The point is, how did the little girl know that he would appear behind her? Is it possible that Obito often uses this trick to tease the little girl? Naruto once again disappeared in the blink of an eye. This time he appeared above the little girl's head, floating. However, the little girl looked up at him and said, "It's very impolite to stand on other people's head and stare at them." Naruto, what the hell is this little girl? Can she really find him? What's going on? Obito stood on the side and watched the show. When Naruto looked at him, he didn't say anything. Naruto could only come down again and appear in front of the little girl. "How did you find me?" The little girl tilted her head and looked at Naruto with a look of disgust. "I just saw you, is it very obvious?" Obito cleared his throat. "Well, since the matter is done, let's go. Otherwise, we will be discovered." In the spiritual network, Naruto asked Obito, "What's the matter with this little girl?" Obito finally stopped playing dumb and replied, "This little girl is born with the ability to use spatial ninjutsu and has a very keen perception of spatial ninjutsu." A girl born with the ability to use spatial ninjutsu? How come he doesn't remember such a character in Naruto? Chapter 609. Early in the morning, Naruto received a very shocking news. The daimyo of the Land of Lightning is dead. Naruto, how long do you have to wait for your plan? Now Tion is urging me to catch the Hachibi. After the destruction of the Land of Rain, the Land of Wind under the control of the Land of Rain will be merged into the Land of Lightning. At that time, the 5 major countries will be unified, and the Land of Lightning will be only a few small countries away from unifying the world. The plan has to wait. When the Land of Lightning destroys those small countries, it will be almost done. Since he wants the Land of Lightning to be the villain, he will let it be the villain thoroughly. However, the Hachibi can be caught now. Do you want to go this time or do you want to go? Hearing Naruto ask who will go, Obito's face was a little hot. Last time, when he caught the Sanbai, he screwed it up. This time, he will avenge his shame. "I will go, this time I promise there will be no problem." Naruto didn't argue with him. If he can avoid doing it himself, he is generally too lazy to do it. "Well, I will leave it to you. Although I feel that there should be no problem, I remind you that it's best to do your best and don't screw it up again." Obito promised, "Don't worry, without Jiraiya's trouble, there will be no problem." But he didn't want to be poured a basin of cold water by Naruto. "Jiraiya ran away, and he is not in my hands now." Obito was confused. How did he run away? Naruto didn't care. While the seal was not paying attention, he ran away. Obito was even more confused. What does he mean by taking advantage of the seal's not paying attention? Could it be that the seal could be dozing off? How long has he been running? Naruto said, "He ran away not long after we caught him. Now he is either a cat in the land of snow or has slipped back to the territory of the 5 major countries." Hearing this, Obito felt a little guilty and muttered to himself, "How could I let him run away?" Naruto glanced at Obito. "Are you blaming me?" Obito shook his head and said, "No, I blame the seal. Why didn't it pay attention to it? It is too irresponsible." Naruto, Obito's ability to point at mulberry trees and scold locust trees had improved. Naruto's small eyes continued to stare at Obito. Obito finally couldn't help but change the topic. I suddenly remembered that I still have to wear scales to practice. Lin, this child, is so naughty. Whenever I don't pay attention, he will slip away and refuse to train hard. So, I want to. He was admitting defeat and did not want to catch the eight-tailed beast. Naruto directly interrupted, "No need, I also know spatial ninjutsu, and I'm very familiar with it. While you're catching the Hachibi, I'll help you carry the scales." Obito instantly cursed. This, with a smile in his eyes, Naruto looked at Obito in amusement. "What's wrong? Can't bear to." "Don't tell me you have other thoughts about the little loli?" Obito was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He nervously replied, "No." "So excited?" Something happened. Naruto looked at Obito in amusement. Obito turned his face away. Because of nervousness, the speed of his speech became a bit faster. "That's it, leave the eight-tailed beast to me, and help me carry scales to practice for a few days. I'll go now." Obito couldn't stand Naruto's gaze and directly slipped away. Watching Obito disappear in front of his eyes, Naruto's smile became fainter and fainter. There was a little thought, and some doubts. Naruto thought of the little loli named Lin. Since learning that Lin was born with spatial ninjutsu, Naruto began to pay attention to her. After all, the original world is still developing. Naruto didn't have such a character. If it's because of his influence, maybe it makes sense. After all, because of his existence, the underground exchange was not destroyed by the Akatsuki. In this way, maybe he changed a certain event and let the little girl who should have been implicated live. But this is just a guess. There is another possibility, that this girl, she's someone who has disappeared for a long time and can't be found. That girl has a history of being a girl. So it's not impossible for her to become a little loli. Just in time, while Obito went to catch the eight-tailed beast, Naruto decided to test and observe her. If it's true, then things will be interesting. When he thought that the girl Obito likes is actually that girl, when he thought that the two of them are together, Naruto felt that he couldn't help but want to smile. There was an indescribable joy in his heart. That kind of mood is called excitement. Is he going to make them together, or make them together? Of course, I'm going to make them together. Naruto stepped out of the door and came to the little loli's room. The door was knocked. Inside the room, Obito was explaining to Lin that in the next week or half a month, Naruto will take Lin's place to practice. Lin's expression was very unhappy. She pouted and looked very cute. "The one outside seems to be the annoying guy you said," Lin said angrily. Obito pinched Lin's face. "Don't let that guy hear this sentence. That guy is super narrow-minded." Outside the room, Naruto's expression was indifferent. He heard it. The soundproofing of the Akatsuki's room is really not good. Inside the room, Obito waved to the little loli, and a layer of spiral ripples appeared in the air. In the perception barrier, in Naruto's eyes, Obito was like rushing into a sewer. In the gurgling sound of water, he turned and was washed away. As soon as Obito left, the door was opened. The little loli stared at Naruto angrily and said, "Masked brother ordered you to be my teacher?" "Order." "Little girl, you seem to have the relationship reversed." Of course, it's not reversed. After all, the relationship between them is indeed like that. "Yes, your big brother asked me to teach you cultivation." The little loli asked, "But now it's noon, masked brother said to take a nap at noon, so that I can grow taller quickly." Naruto praised, "Your masked brother is right, then I will wait for you to wake up and come again." The little loli's cute big eyes blinked as she looked at Naruto. Naruto's face was modest and respectful. Finally, the little loli nodded, "Then you can come to me later." After saying that, she closed the door. Naruto looked at the closed door for a long time without saying anything. If this little girl is not that person, then she is really quite cute. But if she is, it's really exciting to think about. Naruto raised his hand. There was a layer of goosebumps on his arm. Then I will come back in 2 hours. Naruto gently shouted at the door, teleported, disappeared directly, and returned to his room. In the end, is she that person? Naruto was lying on the sofa, looking at the ceiling. Their faces overlapped in front of Naruto's eyes. They don't look alike at all. Whether she is or not, it's very interesting. Naruto's face was full of expectation. He closed his eyes and took a nap for 2 hours. Then he would have enough energy to explore. Chapter 610. 2 hours wasn't a long time. But the key was that Naruto overslept. When he woke up, the sun was setting. It was no longer afternoon, but evening. Was it because he was too tired recently? Naruto found a good excuse for himself. Did you sleep well? In order to let you grow a bit more, I deliberately came a bit late. Naruto stood in front of the little loli's door. The little loli looked at Naruto as if she would believe him. Oh, but I'm going to eat. It was already dark, so it was indeed time to eat. Then after eating, the little loli continued, after eating, I'm going to sleep. How about you take me to cultivate tomorrow? Masked Gidge said that I have to sleep early and get up early. Naruto took a deep breath and agreed, your Masked Gidge is absolutely right. But it's not too late now. I'll directly teleport you to the cafeteria. This will save a lot of time, and it's also good to take a stroll after eating and cultivate a bit. The little girl refused. I can teleport there myself, but I eat very slowly. Saying so, a totem-like mark lit up on the little girl's forehead. Space distorted, and the little girl disappeared. That was a curse? Naruto froze on the spot, and then his thoughts entered his memory. He recalled the scene just now. His eyes were fixed on the mark on the little girl's forehead before she disappeared. This little girl must be related to Orochimaru. Even if she wasn't Orochimaru, she must be related to him. Naruto's consciousness returned to his body. The ripples in space had already calmed down, but the traces were still there. Naruto used Flying Thunder God technique to resonate with the traces in space. His figure disappeared as he caught up with the little loli. When he reappeared, he was already at the Akatsuki's cafeteria. It was an underground cafeteria built in a mine. There wasn't much in the Earth Country, but there were many mines. The Akatsuki occupied one of the abandoned mines. When Naruto appeared, the little loli was ordering food. A fruit salad? Tongiyaki? This thing should be very fast, right? However, Naruto's guess was wrong. When Naruto finished the stonejutsu pot he ordered, the little loli was still carefully eating the fruit. One by one, he placed them in his mouth and chewed slowly. The expression of enjoyment on her face was like that of a satisfied kitten. But in fact, cats ate much faster than this little girl. Naruto had seen cats eating, and the food was crunchy. It was not much slower than dogs. There was no need to mention the chicken liver and dried fish. Just a few mouthfuls were enough. As for the cat candy, if you're anxious, you don't even need to lick it. You just need to chew it and it'll be gone in a few seconds. If you continue eating like this, the sky will turn dark. Could this guy be that guy? Did that guy have to be so evil? At this moment, Naruto was more willing to believe that the little loli in front of him was indeed a little loli. It wasn't Orochimaru. She was just cursed by Orochimaru? Just like Sasuke. The little loli replied, Masked Gidge said that I have to chew slowly when eating, so that my stomach won't hurt. Naruto's face was full of curses. There was nothing wrong with chewing slowly, but that was only necessary for eating meat, rice, and large pieces of vegetables, right? Chewing sufficiently reduced the burden on the stomach. A fruit salad, do you want to juice the fruit in your mouth and then swallow it? And tongiyaki, a pastry was originally. I'm afraid that your masked brother has some misunderstanding about the matter of eating. When he comes back, we need to have a good talk. The little loli successfully finished her meal from dawn to dusk. I'm done eating, I'm going back to sleep. See you tomorrow. Yes, don't oversleep tomorrow, or your cultivation will be postponed to the day after tomorrow. Naruto was speechless. Was this a threat? Naruto already understood. Maybe it wasn't that Obito had a misunderstanding about eating. Instead, the little girl was deliberately eating slowly. Because he overslept at noon. Revenge. What a black-bellied little girl. Was she relying on her masked Gidge to be the boss? So she could do whatever she wanted? If that's the case, then, she's really an adorable little loli. Okay, you set a time, I promise to report on time. Naruto has completely entered the role of a follower. She was the boss's favorite concubine, so he, as a follower, should have the attitude of a follower. The little girl played with her fingers. I'll get up at 5, you can call me at 5:30. 5 o'clock? Unexpectedly diligent. Okay, I won't be late for a second. The little loli waved to Naruto, the V-shaped curse seal lit up, and the space around the little loli's body rippled. The little girl directly disappeared in front of Naruto's eyes. If this was a curse seal, then it was a very powerful one. It could directly resonate with the rules of space. The reason why Naruto can so freely mobilize the rules of space is mainly because of the Kamui Sharingan in his left eye. In addition, the 9 tails in his body can continuously supply chakra. Without these two, Naruto can at most use the Flying Thunder God Jutsu with the Flying Thunder God Jutsu to teleport. This little girl. Naruto came to the place where he first teleported with the little girl. Under the eye patch, the 3 Tomo Sharingan was promoted to Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto was perceiving the mark similar to the Flying Thunder God Jutsu. However, he couldn't find it. Was it eliminated by the little girl? Or the little girl didn't use the mark at all? Teleporting with the space-time mark and teleporting without the mark are two completely different concepts. If it's the former, it means that the little girl is worse than him. The latter at least proves that the little girl's mastery of space is equal to his. Some of them might even be stronger than the others. This was a very inconceivable thing. The guy who disappeared for 3 years is really a person who can't be underestimated. However, if you think a space ninjutsu can kill me, then you are a bit too naive. Naruto's lips curved into a smile. Kisame was eating not far away at this time. Uchiha Itachi was not in the cafeteria. Since Woodleaf was killed, that guy and his brother fought every day. Kisame also fell out of favor. Naruto, what good thing did you think of? Why are you smiling so flirtatiously? Could it be, you like that little loli? I'm telling you, I'm not bragging, I still have some experience in this area. Do you want to teach you a few tricks? Kisame is very experienced in this kind of thing? Naruto looked at Hoshigaki Kisame in surprise. Kisame is holding a big bowl of noodles, vinegar. The bowl next to him is stacked high. There are 7 or 8 bowls. You are wrong, I'm just interested in the little girl's ability. Besides, you don't know, the boss went to catch the Hachibi. When the seal of the Hachibi is finished, it will be my turn. My little life is coming to an end. Kisame's chewing stopped. His Adam's apple wriggled, and he swallowed directly. Can you tell me what incurable disease you have? It's hard to imagine that a guy like you would have an incurable disease. Naruto heard Kisame's words full of concern. The feeling of being cared for was a little warm. What do you mean? Why can't I have an incurable disease? Kisame replied, I remember, the boss said that good people don't pay with their lives, scourges live for thousands of years. Naruto. Mother Fastris Kur, can't we have a proper conversation? This sentence was said by him to Obito. He didn't expect to use it on him. Chapter 6:11. After the death of the daimyo of the Land of Thunder, Raikage requested to succeed the throne. But he was rejected by the bureaucrats of the Land of Thunder because he didn't have the royal blood. They impeached Raikage for overstepping his authority to succeed the throne. Not long after, a strange disease swept through the Land of Thunder. The patients were either bureaucrats or their family members. This scene happened to be seen by Obito, who went to the Land of Thunder to capture the Hachibi. Have you heard? Yesterday, the head of the Chunshin family died of illness. The discussion on the street corner reached Obito's ears. Obito looked at the source of the sound. The person who spoke should be a servant of a big family. He had a shifty face and wore a brocade dress that didn't match his temperament. There were many people around him. The quality of these people's clothes wasn't bad, but they were a little less gorgeous. The head of the Chunshin family also died? This is the 6th official who died this week, right? You said that these officials had nothing to do but eat a snake and rat feast. Did they get sick? Another person said, I heard that the thing called snake and rat is a rare delicacy, and it's just a little bit. As he said that, the person pinched his fingertips to show the size and continued, it costs tens of thousands of silver. The people next to him didn't believe, so expensive? Wouldn't that spoonful of meat be enough to redeem the girl in the green bamboo alley? The person who said the price was a little proud and continued, after all, it's the best delicacy. I heard that the snake and rat thing only has one piece of meat, so it's expensive. It's a pity that I haven't eaten it yet. I'm afraid I won't be able to eat it in the future. Because the snake and rat were infected with an infectious disease, the officials who ate it also got sick. This story was passed down by word of mouth, and most people were convinced. Several people were chatting enthusiastically, and one of them said to the well-dressed man, Little butler, you are the best among us. Have you eaten the snake and rat meat? In Obito's eyes, the expression of the person who was asked was a little unnatural. He said, Of course I have, but the name is wrong. It's not called snake and rat, it's called dragon and tiger. But that was a few years ago. Hearing that the little butler had eaten it, the people around him took a few steps back, because the legendary disease was contagious. Hearing that it was from a few years ago, the tense atmosphere finally relaxed. What followed was all kinds of flattery. Snakes and rats? Long Hu? Obito snorted and shook his head. He didn't believe that the officials of the country of lightning died one after another because of that kind of thing. But it was undeniable that this reason was really good. Obito's eyes swept past these people and looked at the restaurant. There was a burly man with brown skin, a dirty braid, and glasses. Hachibi Human Pillar Force. Killer B. His goal this time. At the same time, there was also a white-haired Jiraiya with black-rimmed glasses and an old cucumber painted in green paint. Jiraiya's disguise was very good. He looked to be in his 20s or 30s. The reason why Obito recognized him was mainly because of the toad logo on his clothes. Because of his last failure, Obito was now particularly sensitive to toads. So after noticing the toad, Obito became vigilant. After a series of careful observations, he finally confirmed that it was a ninja. Toad attributes plus ninja, there's a 60% chance that it's Jiraiya. In addition, Obito found that this person was very lecherous. He always looked at the buttocks of little girls. So the possibility that it's Jiraiya rose from 60% to 80%. In the spiritual network, Obito found Naruto. Naruto, are you really not coming to help me? That guy is really likely to be Jiraiya. Naruto replied, so what if it is? Get up from where you fall. You have to face difficulties bravely, then you can go forward bravely. Only then can you break through yourself and make a difference. If you're knocked down by a single challenge, then you're just wasting the air you need to live. It's better to die on Jiraiya's body now. Naruto said a lot of long-winded words. Obito had a headache listening to it. But he still asked, you really want me to do it myself? If you fail, you can't blame me. Naruto asked back, why not blame you? Last time you failed, you said that you were not prepared to be sneak attacked by the other side. This time he didn't find you, but you found him first. With such a favorable condition, do you still have the face to fail? Well, I won't talk to you anymore. In short, this time you have to win. This is for your own good. I'm going to take little Scale to eat barbecue. After that, the call was hung up, not even giving Obito a chance to ask Scale. Fuck. Obito roared in his heart. At the same time, in the Land of Wind. The Land of Wind covered a large area of desert, but there were still forests. At this time, Naruto took Scale to one of the green areas to look for game. This was Naruto's reward for Scale's good performance. Scale, look at that snake, isn't it cute? Do you want me to catch one as a pet? Naruto saw a mottled snake with pink and white lines on its body. It looked more beautiful than other snakes and was suitable to be a pet. Of course, this was also a test. To test Scale's reaction when he saw the snake, and the snake's reaction when it saw Scale. While Naruto was talking, the snake turned its head and spat out its tongue. Hiss! Hiss! It threatened the approaching two with its voice. The snake didn't show any abnormality, it didn't show any fear of Scale, and it didn't show any obedience. Then what about Scale? Scale stared at the snake with her cute big eyes and praised, "Wow! What a cute little snake. This girl didn't hide her love for snakes? You like it? Then catch it as a pet?" Naruto asked again. Scale licked her lips. Scale's tongue was very short, only showing the tip. Although the habit of licking lips was very similar to that person, it was much cuter than that person. That person's licking of lips was not cute, only disgusting, and a little perverted. Scale shook her head and said, "No, no, no, I think this snake will be very delicious if it's made into snake soup." What? Snake soup? Meow, how many girls would like snake soup? Besides, snakes and you should be the same kind, right? Is it really good to eat your own kind? Do you really want to eat it? Naruto listened to his own heart. Scale happily nodded and said, "Yes, yes, Masked brother made snake soup for me once, it was delicious." Ha! Obito actually made snake soup for this little girl. It was like hearing a girl say that her boyfriend invited her to eat human meat barbecued pork bun. His back was cold. In the end, the super cute, super beautiful little snake was caught, skinned and made into a pot of snake soup. Naruto looked at the snake's skin that was thrown aside and felt a little distressed. This snake was really beautiful. If he took it back to the snow country and gave it to Shameless, maybe he could breed a lot of pet snakes that could be sold. But Shameless would not allow him to sell his sons. He made a snake soup, roasted a few snake skewers, and caught a few wild rabbits and pheasants. This meal, the little girl and Naruto were very full. It was worth mentioning that because of Naruto's good cooking, the little girl's attitude toward Naruto was obviously a lot better. This made Naruto even more puzzled. Could it be? This little girl was really not the person he was looking for? No. This little girl must be intentional. Chapter 612. That girl actually ate the snake. However, it's not like there are no snakes that eat their own kind. Some powerful snakes do have the nature of eating snakes. Well, if that's the case, eating snakes is not enough evidence. I have to test it in another way. That night, the cultivation ended. Today, you go to the cafeteria to eat first. I have something to do elsewhere. The little girl was a little disappointed when she heard that Naruto didn't take her to the wild. She pouted and said, "Where are you going?" Naruto said mysteriously, "It's a secret." "Okay, you go and eat." After saying that, Naruto waved his hand and disappeared in an instant. Naruto reappeared 1 kilometer away. After coming out, Naruto hid and waited for the little girl to take the bait. However, to Naruto's disappointment, the little girl didn't come. Only a white Zetsu, secretly monitoring him. The plan failed. The next day, he took the little girl to eat barbecue. On the third day, Naruto used the same trick again. The little girl didn't chase after him. The barbecue continued on the fourth day. On the fifth day, the little girl finally followed Naruto through the traces left in the space. Naruto hid, and the little girl didn't find Naruto. Naruto secretly observed the little girl's every move. He didn't find anything. The 6th day continued. This time, Naruto used the space transmission twice and moved 2 kilometers. He chose a barren land. It was convenient to observe and prevent the white Zetsu from spying on him. After all, for a Zetsu, places with plants were almost the home field of that guy. After Naruto hid in a big rock, he was shocked. The little girl soon appeared in front of Naruto. The little girl looked around and didn't feel any other space fluctuations. After not finding Naruto, she stomped her feet angrily. That guy slipped away again. Really, what is that guy doing every day so mysteriously? Language, demeanor, expression, action. There were no flaws. There was no manly side. There was no other abnormality. Are you following me? Naruto's sudden appearance in front of the little girl gave her a fright. How did you do it? I didn't even sense any spatial fluctuations. Naruto explained, it's simple, because I didn't use any space ninjutsu. Tell me, are you following me? The little girl was frightened and angry. She put her hands on her waist and said rudely, "What's wrong with following you? Who asked you to be so secretive every day and not tell me what you're doing? I was curious, so I followed you. What's wrong?" Was the criminal's attitude so bad after being caught? He didn't have the slightest awareness that he should have when doing something bad. Naruto also lost his patience. Taking off the blindfold, his 3-Tomo Sharingan was upgraded to Mangekyo Sharingan. Manjikyu Sharingan, Real Illusion Memory Space. This genjutsu is based on the Manjikyu Sharingan's powerful dojutsu that can read memories. Naruto wanted to directly read the little girl's memories. Land of Lightning. After squatting here for a week, Obito finally made his move. Taking advantage of the dark, Hachibi's human pillar force was sleeping. He directly pulled Hachibi's human pillar force into Kamui's space. Spiritual Network. Obito found Naruto and said, "I succeeded." Naruto was very calm. "What are you excited about? It wasn't difficult to begin with. I would be surprised if you failed again." Obito replied, "For safety's sake, I'll teleport back directly. Get ready to help me clean up the traces." With that said, Obito didn't use the ability of Manjikyu Sharingan, but used his ID card to locate Naruto. As soon as he appeared, Obito urged, "Quick! Help me erase the traces." The space that had just calmed down was distorted again, and there was the sound of glass breaking. "Can you clean up the traces yourself?" Obito replied, "Isn't it safe to let you do it?" Truth. No, the truth is that if Jiraiya catches up, it's your responsibility. By the way, don't you have to reimburse me for the points consumed by this teleportation? I'm doing business. Naruto rolled his eyes. Look at you, you have to apply for reimbursement for those points. Obito ignored Naruto's ridicule. The cost of cross-region teleportation is not small. How's Scale recently? Did you learn anything from her? Obito was very concerned about Scale. Naruto sighed, "Thinking about that girl gives me a headache. Since you're back, you can continue to train her." Naruto looked at Scale's memory. From birth to the present, there was no shadow of the person Naruto was looking for. Scale was born in a small town in the Land of Fire. Before the age of 13, he was an ordinary child. At the age of 13, he suddenly awakened the ability to control space, and the ability to lose control erased the entire town. Therefore, he was discovered by Zetsu. Then Zetsu took the little girl to a new town and introduced the little girl to Obito, letting Obito teach Scale. Is this the truth? Naruto felt frustrated. I'm going to deal with the Hachibi. You inform the people in the organization and seal the Hachibi tomorrow. Obito nodded, hesitating. Before Naruto left, he suddenly stopped Naruto. By the way, is Scale okay? Naruto was surprised. What did you notice? Why do you ask? Obito replied, although I don't know what you suspect, I can feel that you have been suspicious of her. Obito's feeling is quite sharp. Naruto asked, Oh, you felt it, so you have been worried about that girl? Don't you want me to teach her? Obito didn't hide and nodded. A little. Yes is yes, no is no. What does he mean by a little? Naruto was too lazy to talk to Obito and replied, "Ah, I read her memory, no problem." Obito was surprised. You read her memory? Is she okay? Naruto was now very disappointed. If Scale was the person he was looking for, then things would be interesting. But it turned out not to be. It's okay, she will be fine after a sleep. Naruto no longer cared about Obito and directly entered Century Egg's inner world to see the Hachibi human pillar force. At the same time, in Scale's room, Scale suddenly opened her eyes. A pair of silver, full of strange vertical pupils stared straight at the ceiling. Today doesn't seem to be the night of the full moon. Is it because Naruto read my memory that I woke up early? I didn't expect that little guy Naruto to grow to this point. Scale sat up from the bed, holding her cheeks and talking to herself. Then no one knew what she was thinking. At this time, Scale's eyes were particularly deep, which made her beautiful face a little more cold. And a kind of coldness. However, this aura was quickly interrupted by the rumbling of his stomach. Today Naruto didn't take her to eat barbecue. She followed Naruto and didn't go to the cafeteria. So, hunger was inevitable. Scale smacked her lips and said to herself, I want to drink a bowl of snake soup. Roasted snake skewers are also delicious. Should I try to summon a few snakes? No, Naruto is so meticulous, it's not good to leave any clues. Well, at this time, there was a soft knock on Scale's door. Obito's voice came, Scale, are you asleep? The meal ticket is here. Scale closed her eyes and fell on the bed. When she opened her eyes again, her pupils had returned to normal. Scale looked around in a daze and was about to close her eyes. At this time, her stomach rumbled. Then there was a knock on the door and Obito's voice. It's the voice of Masked Gidge. Masked Gidge is back? She got up from the bed in a daze. Chapter 613. If Scale isn't Orochimaru, then where is Orochimaru? It's been 3 years, and Orochimaru seems to have evaporated into thin air. Could it be that Orochimaru is dead? Naruto used Edo Tensei on Orochimaru's body. Edo Tensei failed. This proves that Orochimaru is still alive. Spiritual Network. Naruto found Obito. Tomorrow, I'll take Scale back to the snow country. In the wilderness of the earth country, Obito was grilling meat for Scale. Hearing Naruto's words, he was startled. Take Scale back to the snow country? What are you going to do? Naruto replied, I'm going to get Scale an ID. While I'm at it, check if there are any white Zetsu in Scale's body. When Obito heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Since Naruto gave Scale an ID, it means that Naruto no longer suspects Scale. This means that there's no problem with Scale, and he's not an enemy. This is good. Yes, I should get an ID. But if you get rid of the white Zetsu in Scale's body, the Zetsu will sense it and be vigilant. Naruto was lying on the sofa of the Great Snow Mountain's graduate student residence, resting with his eyes closed. He replied, I just want to provoke him. Tomorrow, I'll seal the Hachibi, and 3 days later, I'll seal the 9 tails. I don't need him anymore. After hanging up the call with Obito, Naruto quietly lay on the sofa. At this time, footsteps came from the living room. There was also a hint of alcohol in the air. The perception barrier expanded. The system notified him, the target has a perception barrier. Detection cannot be performed under non-medical conditions. The system notified him, target identification. The person's profile appeared in front of Naruto's eyes. It's Hinata. Hinata drank. The footsteps were getting closer and closer, and Hinata walked over. It's so late yet you're still awake? Naruto greeted Hinata. According to the previous agreement with Tsunade, Naruto couldn't meet her until he condensed the Ein seal. I'm still awake, Hinata replied. The night was as cold as water, and the surroundings were silent. It wasn't completely silent. At the bottom of the great snow mountain, there would be snoring sounds from time to time. It was big fool snoring. The snoring was intermittent, and every time it got louder, it would suddenly stop. In this situation, it was most likely that Dasha's wife had given Dasha a slap. "You're not with Tsunade?" Naruto suddenly asked a very silly question. Hinata did not reply. Naruto awkwardly sat up and made space for Hinata. He asked tentatively, "Sit?" Hinata nodded and sat beside Naruto. The two of them sat there quietly for a while. Hinata's body gently fell down and leaned on Naruto. Hinata did drink, but it didn't smell bad, and Naruto didn't dislike it. The moment Hinata leaned on him, he liked it very much. He liked Hinata's weak appearance. This way, he could show his desire to protect her. "Nei, Naruto-kun, Asta told me that she likes you." "Then do you like Asta?" "Huh?" The sudden question made Naruto confused, but he quickly replied, "I don't like her." Hinata raised her face and looked at Naruto. "Really?" Naruto didn't hesitate and replied with certainty, "Really?" Hinata's mouth gently curved up, and two beautiful dimples appeared on her face. "Then, do you like me?" This question made Naruto stunned. The two of them looked at each other, and time seemed to have frozen at this moment. Hinata raised her body, and the sweet and intoxicating smell of alcohol came out of her mouth. "I like you, Naruto-kun." Naruto suddenly felt his heart thump. It was a very sweet and wonderful feeling. Hinata stood up and pressed against Naruto. Their red lips touched under Hinata's initiative. Naruto was absent-minded and was pushed down by Hinata. "Who am I? Where am I? What am I going to do?" "I like you too," Naruto said boldly. But Hinata didn't respond. Naruto gathered his courage and looked down at Hinata. He found that Hinata had fallen asleep on top of him. This girl. It seemed that Hinata drank a lot. Well, if she wasn't drunk, Hinata would never do such a bold thing. Naruto lowered his head and looked at Hinata in his arms. The drunk Hinata was also beautiful. And the angle of her chest when she lowered her head. The view under the collar of her pajamas was unobstructed. Should he... Gulp. Naruto swallowed his saliva with difficulty. "No, Hinata is not sober now. How can we be so careless about this kind of thing?" He resisted the various impulses in his heart. Naruto used chakra to lift Hinata from his body. She slipped out and gently placed her on the sofa. Hinata looked beautiful when she was sleeping. She looked even more beautiful when she was drunk. He really wanted to look at her for the whole night. Then he would just look at her for the whole night. But would it be uncomfortable to sleep on the sofa? It was better to carry Hinata to the bed. Naruto carried Hinata and went back to the bedroom. Then he sat on the ground and continued to look at the sleeping Hinata. Unknowingly, the night passed. When Hinata woke up, Naruto was still sitting on the ground. "Good morning." Seeing Hinata open her eyes, Naruto took the initiative to greet her. Hinata yawned in a daze, rubbed her blurry eyes, and replied in a daze, "Good morning, Naruto-kun." Naruto continued to sit on the ground and lie on the edge of the bed. Hinata looked at Naruto in confusion and felt that something was wrong. "Haven't I woken up yet? Naruto-kun." Naruto smiled brightly. "Good morning. Get up and wash your face and have breakfast. I have asked Quan Ji to prepare breakfast." The reason why he didn't do it himself was that Naruto didn't want to miss the scenery in front of him. He wanted to keep looking at Hinata like this. Hinata turned her head and looked around. This bedroom was familiar yet unfamiliar. It was familiar because she had been here before. It was unfamiliar because this wasn't her bedroom. This was Naruto's bedroom. Why was she in Naruto's bedroom? What happened yesterday? Hinata felt her head hurt and couldn't remember. Was she dreaming? This couldn't be real, right? Hinata pulled up her system's daily record. Then she recorded herself getting drunk, confessing to Naruto, taking the initiative to kiss Naruto, and finally being carried away. She actually took the initiative to confess. She did what Tsunade told her to do. Wait, Hinata, you need to be more reserved. It's one thing to confess, but how could you take the initiative to kiss Naruto? The recording continued. She saw Naruto's hand, touching her breasts several times. Hinata finally couldn't take it anymore. Her face was so red that it was about to explode. Asterisk bang. Asterisk she transformed into steam. I'm too ashamed to see anyone. Unable to control herself, Hinata slapped Naruto. Pervert. She then crawled under the covers and wrapped herself up. Naruto was stunned by the slap. After he recovered, he immediately explained, Hinata, listen to me. It's not what you think. You were the one who took the initiative last night. Hinata was embarrassed to death upon hearing this. Get out. Naruto panicked even more. It's true. You said that you liked me. Hinata was about to explode. Get out. Naruto explained, Hinata, I like you. However, Hinata, who was still in a state of anger, didn't hear him at all. She kicked Naruto from under the covers and sent Naruto flying. The force was so great that a hole was smashed in the metal wall. However, Naruto had thick skin and was fine. He even explained, Hinata, I recorded yesterday's incident. If you don't believe me, you can take a look. Hinata. The system announced, Naruto sent you a video message. Please receive it. Hinata was about to go crazy. Chapter 614. Get out. You're not allowed to come in. Hinata shouted from under the blanket. Naruto's system interface. System notification. Hinata rejected the video. Rejected? How could he reject it? Then wouldn't he be unable to clear his name even if he jumped into the Yellow River? If Hinata didn't like him because of this, Hinata would leave him. Hinata would marry someone else. Hinata would give birth to someone else's child. Hinata's child wouldn't have the same surname as him, it wouldn't be Little Whirlpool. Heavens. This was too scary. No. This had to be explained clearly. Naruto sent the video to Hinata again. System notification, Naruto sent you a video message, please accept it. Naruto ran back. Hinata. This video will prove my innocence. Hinata was so embarrassed under the blanket that she turned into a prawn. Just as she was about to reject it again. System notification, video file has been accepted. System notification, video file downloading. System notification, video file playing. None of this was done by Hinata, so there was only one truth. Naruto's highest level of authority was 5 stars. The video played. The video that Hinata had already watched was played again. And it was the edited version. The part where a certain scumbag secretly touched her chest was cut off. System notification, Naruto requests to create a virtual reality chat room. Rejected. Rejected invalid. The virtual reality chat room was successfully created. Naruto appeared in front of her. Hinata, don't be so agitated. You saw the video, right? Nothing happened last night. You drank too much, so I watched over you for the entire night. Hinata questioned, you only watched over me for the entire night? Naruto replied firmly, I only watched over you for the entire night. Hinata threw caution to the wind. Then you didn't touch my chest? Hinata seemed to know something incredible. The righteous Naruto's brain instantly crashed. How did Hinata know? That's right, the system's daily record. It's over. It's over. If he had known that this would happen, he would have used his authority to delete it. What should he do now? That. Hinata, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Really, I didn't think about it. I must have been possessed back then. I lost control for a moment. How was he going to explain this? He searched in the superbrain system. What can I do to make a girl forgive me after touching her breasts? The superbrain is searching. System notification. No matching question found. You can generate a question for help and answer it online. System notification. Would you like to generate a request for help? Naruto's brain also went haywire. He nodded. He hung up the call for help. If he accidentally touched a girl's chest, how could he make her forgive him? Waiting online is quite urgent. Ding-ling. As soon as Naruto asked the question. Those who paid special attention to Naruto received a system notification. System notification. The person you pay special attention to has encountered a problem. Help him and you will gain a favorable impression. At this moment, the snow country exploded. How many people were paying special attention to Naruto? All the teachers and students of the mercenary college were paying attention to him. And the citizens of the country of learning. System notification. The principal you pay special attention to has encountered a problem. Help him and you might be rewarded with credits. What question? She clicked on the question. My love, oh phew. Yugao, oh phew. System notification. The state preceptor you pay special attention to has encountered a problem. System notification. Snow country exploded. Hinata also exploded. Hinata's system interface. System notification. Naruto-kun, the person you pay special attention to has encountered a problem. Hinata was stunned. Then, she felt sweet in her heart. Naruto was just outside the house. Could it be because of her that he asked this question? For example, asking how to make a girl happy? But soon, Hinata's face darkened. Hinata realized that she had guessed the beginning correctly but not the end. Help question. Accidentally touched a girl's chest. How can I get the girl to forgive me? Waiting online for urgent help. Naruto actually asked this question. Was that an accident? It was clearly when she was sleeping. This wasn't the main point. The main point was that how could he ask such a question directly? The number of replies to the question was quite fast. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of people left comments below. Some people were heckling, while some people answered seriously. Heckling. Was it really an accident? I highly doubt it. +1. Downstairs. I don't think what the person above said is reliable. The girl must have deliberately knocked down the state preceptor and then took the opportunity to repay him with her body. +1. Madness +1. It was a serious analysis. This problem can actually be big or small. It mainly depends on the person you touched and your looks. If the person you touched is someone close to you and this person is interested in you, then it's not a big problem. If the person you touched is a stranger to you, then it's a bigger problem. But if you're good looking, it's not a big problem if you sincerely apologize. That's right. If you're good looking, you can do whatever you want. The next post said, upstairs, are you blind? Our headmaster's looks are outstanding. Continued, the state preceptor is so handsome. Of course, she forgave him. Downstairs, I don't know which girl is so lucky. She won't be willing to take a bath for the rest of her life. She can brag about this for the rest of her life. I really want to be touched by the state preceptor. Downstairs. Reminder, upstairs. Shouldn't the question now be, which girl is being pampered? Then there was a +1 sound of agreement. Naruto was reading the question. Which answer was more reliable? Naruto looked in the mirror and thought that he was still very handsome. Then he should be forgiven, right? Hinata was also reading, but Hinata's mind was already exploding. Naruto, what did you do? Who told you to go to such a place and ask such a question? Naruto was dumbfounded. This. How did you see it? Hinata was in despair. Could it be that she paid special attention to him at this time? Hurry up and delete the question for me. If people know who the person above is, I'll never forgive you. Naruto was shocked. He asked, then if I delete it, you'll forgive me? Hinata was in despair. At this time, a string of 3-star and 4-star users left comments below the post. Gu and I. It's not me. Asta. It's not me. Little Gu and I. It's not me either. If she continued to exclude, she might find the truth. In the high-level public chat area. Gu and I. Speaking of which, who is that girl? Hinata cleverly left a sentence under the comment, it's not me. However, Defei left a comment, it's Hinata's sister-in-law. It's over. No one would doubt Defei. Because everyone knew Defei well. Defei never cared about lying. To outsiders, Defei was the only one other than the state preceptor who had the 5 elements authorization. So it was her. The message board exploded. Chapter 615. Feeling that something was wrong, Naruto deleted the post as quickly as possible. But since this kind of thing has already happened, how can deleting the post cover it up? The enthusiasm of the people of Snow Country for gossip has been ignited. He believed that even if there is no spiritual network, word of mouth can spread throughout Snow Country in the shortest time. Naruto. I hate you. This kind of thing was known by so many people. Hinata felt that she had no face to see anyone. Naruto was speechless. What should I do now? Continue to explain. Naruto had a feeling that the more he explained, the worse the situation would become. But Naruto felt that he could still be saved. Hinata, I was wrong. Hinata ignored him. Naruto continued to apologize, I was really wrong, I will never touch your chest again. Hinata instantly cursed in her heart. If you don't touch mine, then whose do you want to touch? Hinata suddenly wanted to ask, but she couldn't ask such a tough question. Go away, let me be alone. Naruto refused to go and continued to apologize, really, if you touch me again, you will be a puppy. Hinata gritted her teeth, but she thought that Naruto's appearance as a puppy wagging its tail was quite cute. She wanted to laugh, but now was not the time. Outside, Naruto saw that Hinata didn't respond, and continued to say, I swear. I will. What is Naruto-kun going to do? Swear that he will never touch her again? Hinata was anxious, and before Naruto finished, Hinata interrupted, If you dare to swear, I will never talk to you again. Naruto stopped in time. The scene was awkward for a while. Hinata, who was in the bed, wanted to use the quilt to cover herself to death. What the hell is this? At this moment, the system prompted that Tsunade requested a call. Hinata was a little hesitant, but she still connected. Good job, Hinata. Looks like you're finally enlightened. If we had taken the initiative earlier, we would have taken down Naruto a long time ago. Hinata's face turned red from Tsunade's praise. She weakly defended herself. Tsunade-sama, it's not what you think. Tsunade interrupted. Why are you so shy with me? You did well this time. But it's also quite surprising to me. You actually made such a big fuss that everyone in the city knows about it. How courageous. Hinata, I have a whole new level of respect for you now. Was there a cave? I really want to hide it. Tsunade-sama, don't make fun of me. Now that things have turned out like this, how am I supposed to face people in the future? Tsunade teased. Isn't that good? It can also be considered as stamping Naruto's face with the seal of Miss Hinata. He won't have to worry about other girls seducing him anymore. Tsunade-sama, if you keep doing this, I'm hanging up. I'm ignoring you. Hearing that Hinata was really ashamed and angry, Tsunade stopped making fun of Hinata. She said seriously, Hey, you're too thin-skinned. But it's true that this kind of thing does damage a girl's reputation. It's easy for some jealous people to gossip. But don't worry, I'll help you settle this matter. Hinata was full of doubts about Tsunade's words. Could this kind of thing be solved? Unless Tsunade could clear everyone's memories, or go through time and space and change the past. But Hinata still hoped that such a method existed. Otherwise, she really didn't know how to face everyone in the future. Really? What method? Tsunade lowered her voice and replied, "Wait for my news." After Tsunade finished speaking, she didn't wait for Hinata's reaction and directly hung up the call with Hinata. She then called Naruto. "Not bad, boy. You're quite brave." Naruto's body stiffened. Tsunade also knows? Now maybe the entire Snow Country knows, so it's normal for Tsunade to know. Naruto regretted it. It would be better if he posted anonymously. Naruto replied, Fortunately. Tsunade sneered, "Do you think I'm praising you? Do you know what stupid thing you've done? This kind of thing has been spread all over the city. How do you want Hinata to face people in the future? Have you considered the girl's feelings? Hinata has always been a thin-skinned girl, and now she hates you to death." Naruto instantly turned off the phone and whispered, "I don't want to." "It's all an accident, a moment of carelessness," Tsunade said with disappointment. "You're usually very smart. Why are you as stupid as a pig in this matter? Let's not talk about other things. Now that it has happened, how are you going to fix it?" "How to fix it?" Naruto replied seriously, "Apologize?" Tsunade asked, "How do you apologize?" Naruto thought about it. "Admit your mistake and swear that this kind of thing won't happen again. There's no problem with doing something wrong normally. But this kind of thing between a man and a woman." Tsunade just wanted to roll her eyes at this. She said angrily, "Why don't you try it first? See if it works." Naruto said dejectedly, "I tried it, but it didn't work." "Tried it?" Tsunade was a little curious and asked, "How did you apologize?" Naruto didn't want to talk, so he called up the scene just now and sent it back. Tsunade burst out laughing after seeing the video. Especially Naruto's promise that if she touched him again, she would be a dog, and that oath. Tsunade could completely understand Hinata's desperate mood at that time. This apology was really too deadly. This video must be kept and released when there's a chance in the future. It'll definitely be interesting. For example, if it can be played at Naruto's wedding in the future. It's exciting just thinking about it. Cough cough. That. She wanted to laugh. Tsunade took a deep breath. She resisted the urge to burst out laughing and asked with a serious face, "Since it didn't work, what are you going to do next?" Naruto said dejectedly, "I don't know. Tsunade-san, do you have a way?" Finally, it was her turn to say something. But wouldn't that be too good for Naruto? Well, although he's her disciple, there should be some benefits. "I have a way. But, if it works, how will you thank me, your teacher?" Naruto was excited when he heard this. With his understanding of Tsunade, he naturally knew that when Tsunade said something like this, it was when she had full confidence. If it works, and the conditions aren't excessive, you can say whatever you want. Tsunade was very satisfied with this promise. "Well, my way is to propose to Hinata. Propose in front of everyone. This way, it'll be justified. Not to mention that you touched Hinata's chest. Even if you two have a baby, others can only give their blessings." Propose to Hinata? But the original plan was after the world was unified. If he were to propose now, wouldn't his super romantic proposal go down the drain? Naruto didn't answer directly. Tsunade wondered, "What? You don't want to?" Naruto immediately told Tsunade his idea. Tsunade scolded him, "Are you stupid? I'm just asking you to propose, not to get married right away. The things you prepared can be used at the wedding." Naruto thought about it and agreed. "Then propose." Tsunade said affirmatively, "Propose." Naruto took a deep breath. "Okay. Propose." Chapter 616. The residential area of the Snow Country was very lively. The state preceptor, who had always kept a low profile and had no scandals, actually posted a post on a forum asking for a solution after touching a girl's chest. Moreover, it was a real matter, not a joke. The state preceptor has reached the age of choosing a spouse, right? Do you think the state preceptor is going to? At the corner of the street, a few people gathered together. Regardless of whether they knew each other or not, they began to gossip. One of the girls said, "How is that possible? The state preceptor is such a noble person. If he wants to choose a spouse, it should be the queen. How can he marry a little girl whose name he has never heard of?" Another girl said, "If you ask me, this matter is most likely caused by that girl. She was lucky enough to meet the state preceptor and deliberately caused trouble. This slut deserves to be stabbed 1,000 times." The girl said with righteous indignation. Just when everyone thought that this girl was despising this matter, she suddenly said, "Why don't I encounter such a good thing? I will definitely seize the opportunity to give the state preceptor a lot of little state preceptors." Everyone rolled their eyes. Many girls ridiculed that girl for overestimating herself. For example, if you don't look in the mirror to see what you look like, weigh yourself and other heart-wrenching words, whoosh whoosh. The girl's heart was pierced by thousands of arrows. But even so, everyone continued to discuss happily. The name Hinata. Don't you think it's a bit familiar? I feel like I've heard it somewhere. Someone mentioned Hinata's name. When others heard it, they also vaguely felt that it was familiar. It's a pity that the post has been deleted. Otherwise, there will definitely be people who know it. One of them was full of disappointment. The eyes of the person next to him lit up. If it's deleted, then create another one. Is there a shortage of people for such a hot topic? So everyone began to search. Soon, they found that there was no need for them to create a post. Someone had already taken a step ahead. Wow! This Hinata is actually a teacher of the Mercenary Academy. One person sighed as he flipped through the post. The person next to him echoed, "There are no ordinary teachers in the Mercenary Academy. I was wondering how this girl could meet the state preceptor. It turns out that she was close to him." Just as the few of them were engrossed in watching the show, the sky suddenly turned dark. It seemed that something had blocked the sun. What's going on? Why is it dark? Looking into the distance, it was pitch black all around. There was no sign of the streetlights lighting up either. Could it be an enemy attack? In 5 minutes, Lord Master Uzumaki Naruto will propose to Lord Hinata, the 2nd Division Captain of the Imperial Army. During this period, any anomalies will be part of the celebration. System notification: you have received a marriage proposal invitation from the state preceptor. For a time, the snow country was boiling. The imperial preceptor was going to propose. That mysterious girl named Hinata was actually the captain of the Imperial Army's 2nd Division. The Imperial Army's 2nd Division was an organization that only the most outstanding graduates of the Mercenary Academy's combat department could join. Others didn't know what it meant, but the people of the snow country knew very well. The invitation to the marriage proposal opened, and a window popped up. Will you attend the ceremony? Click yes. System notification: accessing the virtual reality world. Please return to your bed and lie down. System notification: connection successful. Naruto's proposal hall. It was in the sky. It looked like a shrine. When she first entered, the shrine's door wasn't open yet. 2 teams of the Imperial Army were neatly lined up on both sides. At the same time, on Hinata's system page. System notification: Naruto invites you to the proposal hall. Proposal hall? What the hell? Hinata was confused. The system uncontrollably agreed. System notification: accessing the virtual reality world. System notification: accessing the virtual reality world successful. Hinata appeared in a dressing room. System notification: please choose your dress. Hinata looked around and found they were all wedding dresses. Naruto, what are you doing? Hinata called Naruto. But Naruto didn't pick up. At this time, Tsunade appeared beside Hinata. Choose your dress? Dress up nicely, it's almost time for you to go on stage. Seeing Tsunade, Hinata quickly asked, "Tsunade-sama, what's going on?" Tsunade looked at Hinata with a smile. "What's going on? Do you still need to ask me? Can't your little brain guess?" Hinata looked around the room with uncertainty. "Naruto, he's not going to... He's going to have a wedding?" Tsunade rolled her eyes at Hinata. "Dream on, it's not a wedding, it's a proposal." "How about it? This is more sincere than his apology, right? Proposal?" Hinata felt like she was floating. Tsunade waved her hand, and a video window appeared in front of Tsunade. In the video, Naruto was standing in the hall in a suit, giving a speech to tens of thousands of people. Hinata could no longer hear the content of the conversation. Hinata felt a little panicked. "Tsunade-sama, this is the solution you mentioned?" Tsunade smiled and said, "It's true that I asked him to propose to you. But these arrangements are not my idea, these are all arranged by Naruto himself. This virtual world and every wedding dress in this room were prepared by him a long time ago. Naruto wanted to propose to you for a long time. His original plan was to unify the world and give you a wedding that you'll never forget. But I think that guy's head is too one-track. A wedding is a wedding, there must be a proposal before the wedding. As for the wedding, let him prepare it again when the time comes." For some reason, looking at the wedding dress in the room and Naruto in the video, Hinata suddenly felt sour in her nose. A drop of tear flowed from the corner of her eye uncontrollably. It's actually very distressing to like someone who's very good. It makes you feel proud of that person's excellence, but at the same time, you worry that you're not good enough, you worry that you're not beautiful enough, and you worry that the person who's getting better and better will eventually choose someone else. That kind of love is beautiful. That kind of waiting is torturous. And the feeling of waiting is really, really great. Silly girl, don't cry. Quickly change your clothes. Naruto is waiting for you. Hinata casually picked up a piece of clothing. Tsunade looked at another one and said, "Don't you want to choose? There's not much time. I think that dress is also very good." Tsunade said as she pointed to a dress in the distance. The dress was snow-white, and Tsunade felt that it matched Hinata very well. Changing clothes in the virtual world is very fast, and you can put it on directly. After Hinata put on the dress, she smiled with tears and said, "These are all clothes prepared by him, I like all the clothes he prepared." The ball in the real world to express my gratitude to everyone. Okay, I won't say any more. The invitation in the real world has been sent out. I'll go find my wife first. With that, Naruto disappeared. In the real world, Hinata was about to climb out of the quilt and slip away. Naruto suddenly hugged Hinata. "Wife, there's no one here." Hinata panicked. "There's no one here, you can't hug me." Naruto hugged her and didn't let go. "I've wanted to hug you for a long time, just let me hug you." How could there be such a rascal in the world? Hinata was angry. But the more she struggled, the tighter Naruto hugged her. "I'll let you hug me for a while. Let go when you're done." Hinata had no choice but to agree. Naruto hugged Hinata and felt the fullness in his arms. He was in a good mood. "My dear wife, can you give me a kiss?" Naruto put his face in front of Hinata. Hinata turned her head away. "No. I've already let you hug me for a while. Let go of me now. I'm sweating all over and need to change my clothes." But he didn't expect Naruto to cover his mouth. Hinata's eyes widened. Woo. Do you want to die?" Naruto kissed her a few times. "If you don't kiss me, I'll kiss you." After saying that, he pecked Hinata's face again. He whispered in Hinata's ear, "Hinata, let's have a child?" Hinata's whole body went soft when she heard this. "You rascal." Naruto kissed her. "You're my wife. How is kissing my own wife a rascal?" At this time, Hinata suddenly remembered something Tsunade said. There were two kinds of men. One was cat-type men, and the other was canine-type men. Cat-type men were so arrogant. They obviously liked someone, but they didn't say it out loud. Cat-type men pounced on you regardless of whether you were willing or not. Naruto was a dog. Tsunade said how to deal with canine-type men. Sit down. Hinata suddenly shouted. Naruto's body stiffened and stopped moving. Hinata scolded loudly, "Let go of me and sit down. Otherwise, I'll reject your proposal." Naruto was very unwilling, but he still let go of his hand. Then, he looked at Hinata innocently and sat down. "I'm going to change now. You sit here and don't move. You can't follow me." Naruto looked at Hinata innocently. "Why?" Hinata looked at Naruto's innocent expression and felt a little soft-hearted. But when she thought of Tsunade's advice, she gritted her teeth and said, "If you don't listen, I won't agree to your proposal." Looking at each other. Persistence. Naruto's pitiful gaze made Hinata's heart clench. "Okay. But I can't keep sitting here, right? I won. Then what? What should I do?" Tsunade said to set rules for canine-type boyfriends. "You sit here first. I'll come find you after I change, and then I'll set some rules. You can disagree. If you don't agree, I'll reject your proposal." Naruto had no choice but to nod and agree. "Okay, then hurry up. Change in half an hour." Hinata agreed, and then quickly ran out of Naruto's room. The moment Hinata stepped out of the door, she felt lucky that she had finally escaped. Just now, she really suspected that she wouldn't be able to walk out today, and then, she would be done by Naruto. After changing, Hinata was a little scared again. Although she was stubborn just now, she was just following the script. She was completely clueless about what to do next. Should she ask Tsunade again? Hinata didn't know what to ask. Spiritual network. Naruto's call, "Time's up, are you still not done yet?" Hinata braced herself and replied, "I'm done." "Come out, let's go to the living room." Hinata didn't dare to be alone in the room with Naruto. When she arrived at the living room, she found that Gunny and the others had returned. "Hinata, you're good. You took down Naruto without a word." The two Yujito praised her. Tion also came over and said in a small voice, "Tell me, what method did you use? Let me see if I can use it as a reference." Hinata was too embarrassed to explain the ins and outs of the matter, so she changed the topic and said, "You guys sit first, I'll go prepare drinks for you." Hinata wanted to slip away, but the others didn't let her do as she wished. They directly called Inuji to serve her. Naruto whispered in Hinata's ear, "Didn't you just say that you want to set rules?" "What rules?" "You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.